Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Welcome back to the Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
I'm Todd.
And today, Brad Potter's with us. We're going to be talking all types of things about landscaping and stonework and his company, Iowa Stone Supply. But first, let's talk about a little Sweet Raw Joy. We didn't bring any down. That's the first thing we should talk about, is how you've started this podcast with a fuck up. Every time, ladies and gentlemen, every time. Sweet Raw Joy, desserts to live for. If you go to Sweet Raw, Jesus Christ. All right, now I'm messing up. If you go to sweetrawjoy.com and you want to see something that is going to be amazing, it's going to like explode in your mouth, and then you're going to be surprised. If you now listen, if you heard what I just said,
right, you might want to change that wording just a little bit, but
it might have. I hate to sound like I have sexual innuendos in my head all the time, but it's hard to stop. It's so hard. Anyway, go to sweetrawjoy.com and go to their catalog, and you can peruse all their wonderful products. Lori Moritz, you are amazing. Now, I know that a lot of these recipes are slightly altered from where she found them on the internet, and a lot of people do raw desserts, but she's pretty amazing.
Are they? They're paleo, aren't they?
I have no idea if they're paleo. I have no idea what. I don't even know what the paleo diet is. So if you were to say, "Hey, it's paleo,"
meat and produce is.
But you know what? This is how I think of the paleo. Paleo, I think of I have to walk somewhere, pick something off of a bush. I'm like Paleolithic, right? That's kind of like the paleo diet. Is your
hunter gatherer? They call it
mindset, right?
Yep.
So no, Todd, I wouldn't assume that desserts in a freezer are paleo.
That's the whole idea, though, is that there's nothing bad in that. The sugar is from a good source.
Okay, if you want to label it paleo because there's nothing bad in it, then
it's an all natural.
There you go.
It's an all natural way.
It's perfect. Good job. Sure. Thank you, Brad. All right, so go to sweetrawjoy.com, peruse their products, and order today. Hey, Todd.
I need to get this porn lady off our Twitter site. We like you like somebody likes you and is following you. So I clicked on it. Next thing I know, she has her leg up and she's got a dick in her ass, and I'm like, oh my god, what?
That's not appropriate.
If somebody goes on our Twitter site, they can see that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we're not too worried about it, but I don't want to see.
I don't get on our own Twitter site enough. But I pulled it up the other day because my daughter wanted to play a game on my phone, and so I hit the wrong button. And I'm getting it ready for her. I mean, her face wasn't in my phone. I mean, she wasn't looking at what I was looking at. I hit the wrong button and I hit the Twitter button. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll check it out real quick. Big, huge porn video on my screen from Twitter. That I'm thinking, who accepted that?
That's totally me. I take full responsibility. Mm-hmm. I'm just so, hey, somebody likes us. I better click on theirs too.
Exactly.
Yeah, my bad.
Exactly.
Totally my bad.
So let's get back to where we were going with another sponsor, Sauce Hockey. Go to saucehockey.com, and you know what? Bam. They ship all around the world.
They're awesome.
And that's why you have to click on your individual country's flag. I don't see a kangaroo flag out there, do you?
Oh, fuck. Please don't start doing that. The Australian guy, Will, is not here. You don't have to try to talk like an Australian guy now.
I know, but remember when last time when I was trying to do this, I go, "What's the Australian flag?" He goes, "That's kangaroo." And I go, "No shit, really?" He goes, "No, I'm just fucking with you." I'm like, "God, I can't tell." Would you agree or not agree that you can't tell when somebody's fucking with you if they have an accent?
Yeah, it was like
it takes all the social lingual clues,
sarcasm, stuff
you
like
can't
that,
understand their sarcasm.
Yeah,
fucking wombat. Anyway, click on the American flag if you're in the United States, and you can check out Sauce Hockey, and you can shop Sauce Hockey. Let's get that little baby off there. He's sauced though. And you can shop Sauce Hockey. Go to their mystery box. Hats, shirts, board shorts, biz nasty, all that stuff. It's pretty cool. It's really pretty cool. Awesome.
And good people.
We tried to talk about this last time, but we didn't pull up the information on the screen, which I don't know why we didn't. But they give to a charity, and the charity is called the Healthy Scratch Foundation. And again, if you have a sick mind, maybe you went to the wrong idea. But this is for kids to play hockey down in Arizona, correct?
Yes.
It was founded in 2012. The Healthy Scratch Foundation was started by members of Sauce Hockey and NHLer Paul Bissonnette with the goal of giving back to the community and growing the sport of hockey at a grassroots and organic level. Yeah, that just sounds sweet, doesn't it?
It does.
I never really thought about giving like a hockey player a hug, but that really sounds sweet.
It is nice.
Because it...
Well, and that's what, again, Eric got us involved in Metro High School, giving back to our community, and that's the first thing he asked us.
Keeping that mindset of being grassroots and helping others, which I think is pretty awesome. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of something that's pretty awesome, shop at saucehockey.com. There you go. Also, somebody that's shown us nothing but love, but not in like a preacher by yourself in a church type of love. Not like the creepy type of love, but like the good kind of love. And that's Jeff Johnson from USA Entertainment Agency. And he helps you organize and schedules entertainers for whatever. If you're having a party, comedian. If you're having a business function, different type of comedian. They have all different types. And if you click on entertainment, he'll break it down for you. Comedy magicians, musical comedy acts, hypnosis, all that stuff. And, dueling pianos, you got that.
What everybody wants to see at a corporate event is dueling pianos. That sounds fantastic. I'm just kidding, Jeff. Sorry.
You know what? Who knows? Maybe
Have you seen it? I saw it at a conference, I think.
Dueling pianos?
Yeah, I think at a conference somewhere.
So who knows? Maybe the owner of the company is really into dueling pianos. Yeah. But something funny that we heard from one of the comedians that was in was that nobody else will laugh. It's a tough gig for comedians at corporate events because nobody will laugh and play the fool and really relax unless the boss is laughing and having a good time.
James Johan had to do Quaker Oats. Was that what he was doing?
He had to do Quaker Oats.
Yeah.
And he didn't comment on if he'd been there before or if it was going to be a tough show or not, but he was like, it
could be tough.
The corporate gigs are tough, but they pay well. So if you want to get an entertainer, go to usaentertainmentagency.com and get your entertainer today. Cards Against Humanity.
We love them.
We love them.
We need to get that Australian version, though. That's got.
Have you heard of all these different?
We had
editions?
no idea they had more.
There's
editions.
a UK edition. There's a Canadian edition, and there's an Australian.
Well, and
edition.
we were clicking on him with this guy Will, and he was like, "Oh, that's a horrible card," and we have no idea what it means. What's that one?
For instance, boat people. Boat people, right there.
Or no, the White Australia policy was against the Aborigines, like annihilating them.
It's called. We had to frame it better. It was white people, affluent white people, going in and basically stealing Aboriginal babies, children, and then raising them in orphanages or in white people's homes, and like culturally saying, get away from that and let's teach you the right way.
It's the same thing that we did to Native Americans, pretty much.
All right. Or
happy conversation. Great job.
And on to the next thing.
Yeah. Or coon cheese. I don't know what coon cheese is.
Sounds horrible.
Really
right. It does, doesn't it? I don't even know what the hell that is. I
don't want to know.
That's just a word that's maybe backwards and upside down. And that's how I like to think of our Australian brethren.
They're on the bottom of the planet.
They're upside down and backwards.
Yeah.
So anyway, go to cardsagainsthumanity.com and get a pack of your own funness today. Now you can get it for free, or you can download it for free, or you can pay $25 for some. But I would really encourage you to pay the $25 because Cards Against Humanity will donate to a local charity in your area. So they did for you, right? Yeah, they did it for me. And then, like an asshole, I accepted this thank you card from the school that they donated money to, and then the school gave me a thank you card. I'm like,
I spent money.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're welcome. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was all me. I was thinking of whatever you're doing, and I still have no clue what they did or what they were doing. So, are we ready for Cards Against Humanity? Now, Brad ready. Potter.
He knows how to play.
You know how to play.
But as long as they're not different renditions here. I mean, I've always been a little under the influence when I played this game. So,
well, we're going to play 2 rounds.
All right.
And we're not going to replenish any white cards.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a little snappier.
Right. All right.
Okay. So rule number 1.
Yeah.
Who had the last bowel movement?
Who had the most recent bowel movement?
Yeah.
About 9 a.m. So
Okay, you got me beat because I went
After
before
his
that because
morning
I had
cup
a
of coffee.
5K.
After I got back, I want to say, oh shit, no, no pun intended. I'm gonna say that I was this morning as well, like 8:30, I think. Does that mean
was it
that's
was
you?
it 8:30? I think Brad has it because he
Yeah,
went
I
after
think
that,
so.
and I was way before that. So, Brad, you're first. And so, everybody who hasn't played this game, and maybe you've heard this podcast before, maybe you've only heard this for the first time, and congratulations, you've just stumbled onto a winner. Okay?
Yeah, prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself. So right now we're going to play Cards Against Humanity, and this is how it's played. Everybody gets 10 white cards, and normally you, as that person's turn comes up, you pick a black card, but for all intents and purposes, we've dealt out 2 black cards apiece. We're going to do 2 rounds, and the black card is kind of like the scorekeeper card.
Yep.
Right? And when it's your turn, you become a judge. And so you read the black card, and then you close your eyes. We're going to give you some white card responses. If it's a twofer,
yep.
we're going to give you 2 cards, and you read the top card as the first blank and the bottom card as the second blank, just so it makes sense. And then we'll see where we're at after 2 rounds. And I'm just guessing.
Don't be an asshole.
I'm just guessing that Todd is going to be...
How about today I'm the winner?
You know
How about
what?
Today?
Maybe
I
Todd
could
will be the
I
winner
could be a
today
winner
because...
for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause
earlier I saw a double rainbow.
I've been sucking ass for weeks.
I'm just
now,
saying,
so
earlier I saw a double rainbow. I'm like, fucking miracles can happen. So maybe it will be Todd's day. All right. So, sir, why don't you go ahead and read your first black card? Todd and I will peruse our white cards.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, creator of the universe, who has granted us blank. Do you want me to read it again?
Oh, yeah, please. Go ahead and just eat that microphone a little bit more.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, creator of the universe, who has granted us blank. I mean, I already feel wrong just thinking about this coming in here.
Dude, I have some really wonderful cards.
You're welcome.
I would love to just play this. Can we not? We're not going to have a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to keep playing this the whole time. Oh.
Yeah, I got one. So
Okay, I have. Go ahead and close your eyes. All right, Brad. Go ahead. Open your eyes and read your black card with each response, please.
All right. Blessed are you, Lord our God, creator of the universe, who has granted us all my friends dying.
Thanks a lot, Dick.
All right.
it's horrible. What a horrible card.
Oh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, creator of the universe, who has granted us being a motherfucking box.
Wow, being a motherfucking box.
That's a cheap joke.
It's,
Brad, which one tickles your undercarriage?
Those are both bad, by the way.
they are. I mean, I expected a little more out of this. But
I have some more to come.
You said you had some doozies over
I
there.
do.
So
I did.
That's a tough card. It's a tough one to start with here. I'm going to go with all my friends dying.
That's me. That's
a little
me.
demented.
Oh, yeah.
but
I'll take your white cards. You can give him the black
I'll
card.
take the black card, yeah. And feel free if you just want to like chuck those white cards like
Right.
throwing
Throw it
stars.
out.
No, please. Yeah, please do that.
You know, we talked about me being mean to you earlier.
Yeah.
It's almost like an S&M thing.
You don't have to turn things that direction.
All right. Anyway, because they are forbidden from masturbating, Mormons channel their repressed sexual energy into blank. Because they are forbidden from masturbating, Mormons channel their repressed sexual energy into blank. I should forward this podcast in particular to a Mormon friend of mine, just to see if he answers this like in his head, and if we come anywhere close to that.
I wonder if you will. It's probably way too inappropriate.
I'm pretty sure he will not listen. Are we ready?
We're good.
I believe so.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Because they are forbidden from masturbating, Mormons channel their repressed sexual energy into some goddamn peace and quiet. You need it. You need some goddamn peace and quiet. Because they are forbidden from masturbating, Mormons channel their repressed sexual energy into some sort of Asian. Man, I'm taking that like on a lot of different levels.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like it. It's a
But I
multifaceted.
have kind of an Asian fetish, so I'm going to go with some sort of Asian.
Here we go. I'll take that one.
Don't look at me yet. We're halfway through the first round, so just relax.
Just saying, maybe that double rainbow was significant for somebody else.
I know I'm going to win this one. What is Batman's guilty pleasure? What is Batman's guilty pleasure?
I have so many.
Oh,
Yeah, you keep saying that. I have so many that are just so great.
Well,
Except we're not laughing.
I have two that I'm. Okay.
Good?
Hold on. Nope. All right, sir.
What is Batman's guilty pleasure? 2 midgets shitting in a bucket.
Have you ever seen the Batcave? He's got all these TVs up.
Right.
You know, one of those TV channels is for something.
There's some creepy shit going on.
Yeah.
What is Batman's guilty pleasure? Being a dick to children. Oh, God, those are both really good.
Because I'm Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
Get the fuck off my cape, kid.
I'm going to go with being a dick to children. God damn it. Sorry, Brad, I was rooting for you.
I know. I feel like every time there's midgets in it, though, it has to win. That's my philosophy.
I do like it. Besides, unless you get the card that says "dem titties,"
Right.
That's a winner. That's always a winner. Dem titties is the
Dem
best.
titties.
Mm,
Dem titties
love
and
dem
these nuts.
titties.
All right, Brad, go ahead and read your last black card.
What's the one thing that makes an elf instantly ejaculate? Alrighty then. What's the one thing that makes an elf instantly ejaculate?
Okay, let's laugh together.
All right.
Give
hold
him
on,
the
hold on.
card,
I,
please.
I know, but I got three, and I got to. All right. There you go, sir.
What's the one thing that makes an elf instantly ejaculate? An interracial handshake. That's terrible. Yeah.
I think all our
That's
listeners at home
funny.
can appreciate who maybe that came from.
Don't try to mind screw him.
What's the one thing that makes an elf instantly ejaculate? My manservant, Claude. Yeah, I'm going with manservant.
All right. I'll take that black card.
God,
I'll take
I'm
the black card.
sucking ass again. This is horrible. God damn it.
I'm going to give you a complex one of these days.
You are. It's like a batting streak. When am I ever going to do it?
Are you ready for this one?
I'm born ready.
Who has a GILF fantasy? Anybody?
Oh,
No?
Jesus.
That has really maybe nothing to do with this card. I just wanted to ask. I really hope my grandma doesn't ask me to explain blank again. I really hope my grandma doesn't ask me to explain blank again.
I just don't feel like I have very good cards. I'm just
Blame it on the dealer. Blame the dealer. Who dealt the cards?
It's me.
You know, this whole GILF thing, since you brought it up, Brad,
Right. Yep.
has really been redefined. I mean, you really couldn't have asked that question back in the 50s, like, hey, who's got a GILF fantasy? But nowadays, god damn, women are taking care of themselves, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Oh, you're talking about grandmas that are attractive? Well, it's
Can
like
I
when
open my eyes?
Yeah. It's like
So I can glare at you with a really stupid look?
It's like MILFs, though. I mean, I've never seen, I guess I haven't seen too many ugly, like, MILF pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not going to like a MILF website. I'm just saying you see a grandmother with some grandkids, maybe at the grocery store, getting ready to make some chocolate chip cookies, and you're like, God damn, grandma looking good. I don't know why you got to talk like
you're super gross.
Okay. No, I'm not. They're women too, Todd. They have needs.
Whatever.
Okay, here we go. I really hope my grandma doesn't ask me to explain tripping balls again.
What's tripping balls mean?
Tripping balls?
Tripping balls.
Like
You know
you're
what that
tripping, like you're so high you are tripping balls.
tripping ball. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
I really hope my grandma doesn't ask me to explain Rush Limbaugh's soft, shitty body again. Now, I hate Rush Limbaugh, so I'm going to have to go with that one because he does have a soft, shitty body.
He does.
So,
yes.
who did that one?
I'll take it again.
You're so terrible.
This is so bad.
You're
I
just so
can't
bad.
Stand it.
Oh my gosh! I think that was that it. Was that it? That was it.
No, you guys both have 2, right?
Yep.
No, I have 3.
Okay, so he has a possibility of tying you.
Oh, okay. You had to read your card again. Okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm done. If you want to put it that way, I'm totally.
I think
done.
you were done after the first one.
Okay. let's
Okay,
not
here
be
we go.
Super mean. I don't mean to brag, but they call me the Michael Jordan of blank. I don't mean to brag, but they do call me the Michael Jordan of blank. Maybe I'm just bad at this game. That could be it. I could just be bad at it. When we play together in groups of people, I still do bad.
All right.
No,
you're good.
there's moments.
Don't placate me.
Moments of greatness.
That's right. Flashes in the pan. I don't mean to brag, but they call me the Michael Jordan of bitches. Oh, I like that one. That's great.
That's a pretty good one.
I don't mean to brag, but they call me the Michael Jordan of the homosexual agenda.
Is there a reason why there's kind of a theme going on there? I don't know. It's kind of a ripping on Todd theme.
These cards in particular, the bitches and the homosexual agenda.
You're really.
This is going too far.
I'm just saying you're really, really sweet.
You're not sweet. I'm gonna go with bitches.
All right.
Oh,
He tied it up,
Tied
ladies
it
and
up.
gentlemen, 3-3.
all right. Give me all your shit. You guys are done. You each got 3.
All right. Enough of that.
Be
Enough
happy.
of that happiness.
Yeah.
Enough
Joy
of
is
that,
over.
Enough of that good time. And if you want to have a great time and laugh at your friend because he got dealt shitty cards, go to cardsagainsthumanity.com and order your pack today for $25. It's amazing. It's a party game for horrible people.
Or get the bigger, blacker box of 21 inches.
It's 17 ounces of pain.
That's right.
I just love saying that.
I know you do.
God, thank you for softball pitching that right to me.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for, buddy.
All right, we're done with that. I do want to talk about one other thing before we get into current events, and that's Produce Run.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, I'm wearing this beautiful green shirt, and it's Produce Run, and that is created by Will.
Do we know Will's last name?
Yeah, I did. God damn it. But
anyways,
it sounds a lot like I'm not going to do that. You know what? Check out producerun.com. Go to YouTube, type in Produce Run, and it explains what it's all about. I think it's
but
pretty
it hooks
cool.
up local people with local farmers. Get fresh produce. Pretty cool.
Great job, Todd. Much better than Cards Against Humanity. You should do this for a living. Anyway, go to producerun.com.
Count to 10.
And touch your local farmer however you want to.
God damn, you just always.
I'm really into this right now.
It's always got to have some weird sexual twist to it.
Deviant innuendo.
Oh, I don't know if deviant's the right word, but sexual for
I'm
sure.
feeling pretty deviant.
The homosexual
actually.
agenda.
Yeah. All right, I got to take a break because I got to tighten this.
What are you? You had him in your. You had him in your hand, in your lap. How did you do that? Did you seriously have them in your lap? And you're like, oh yeah, I meant to do this, and I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't give me any more shit.
So
I better fix this.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Commercial breaks brought to you by
Oh no!
Craftsman Tools.
This will all be on. This will all be in the air. Oh yeah, he won't cut this stuff out. This is gold. This is golden. Everybody wants to see and hear this kind of shit. Oh,
I can't find the hole.
so she said, "Would you? Is this gonna hurt? It's gonna hurt us when you click that thing in." Oh, fuck!
So we're fine. See, we're back, and we're back. Ta-da!
We never went anywhere. So
Now, Todd's normally in charge of finding the good news or the pertinent news of the day. So what? Hey, look at that! There's a kangaroo in the back of a ute.
really? No, that's a truck.
A utility truck.
No, it's a
We shorten everything in Australia. It's
No,
a ute.
That is a truck. A ute is a car. That's like
It's
a
an
truck.
El Camino.
Yeah, they're like little.
It really
mini-
is.
yeah.
So the latest podcast, which will come out Sunday night, go
Yep.
check it out. Watch it on YouTube,
sure.
and you'll see. You'll have a good time. You'll laugh. You'll enjoy it immensely.
Poor guys got really drunk.
Poor fella. Yeah. It was bad enough that Will called me the next day or 2 days later, and he goes, I was just wondering, did I say anything
Inappropriate.
was I too? Because he got home and his lady goes, "You're really drunk," and I thought. Will was telling me this. I go,
those beers really catch up on you.
I really didn't realize that. I thought Australians weren't pussies when it came to alcohol, Will, but
Yeah.
he said that handcrafted beer really sneaks up on you. And it does. But let's talk about some current events for the day. Here's one. I don't know if you have this, but Lake Michigan is so clear you can see shipwrecks from the air. That is crazy. Have you seen that?
It was something to do with our winter too. Like this winter, there was like, have you seen those like ice boulders that form? Yeah. So they had a bunch of those this year that they don't usually have. They're like once every 5 years they have them. They had a bunch of like climate things that happened on that lake this year that they usually don't because it was a weird winter.
Right.
That polar wave, whatever fucking thing that web people or the weather people came up with.
Damn boat people.
Weather people.
Oh,
not
weather
boat
people. Oh, I'm sorry.
There are still people coming here by boat.
Just trying to figure out a way to use boat people in the podcast.
Well done. Way to make
Thank you
that
very
happen.
much. Thank you. There you go. Well, but I thought, like you could just either rent a plane or go out and be checking out the water in Lake Michigan and be like, plot a point, because who knows what those ships had in them when they went down. Yeah, you could go out there and get the timber. I mean, what if those boats went down 100 years ago?
Yeah.
Or more. It's like,
I think they said in that article that there are some that were really old. Like all that's left is just the hull and whatever's sitting at the bottom. I mean, I heard
that's really just amazing. That is so cool. And just think, what if you're flying over and you see like the Loch Ness monster? Like you just see like the craziest fucking thing. No, seriously. I mean, I'm not being that serious. But what if they were to find out that holy shit, there's freshwater sharks?
Oh, something because the water's so clear.
I mean, or there are giant squid in Lake Michigan. You never know. But that would be pretty cool to be a part of something like that. What did you have? Since you're scoffing at my goodness.
I'm scoffing at the ridiculousness that you go off on. I'm not scoffing.
Actually, the story says with the winter ice melted on Great Lakes, the blue waters from the northern Lake Michigan are clear enough to give blah blah blah. I thought it was going to actually give us a reason. No, fuck it.
There is not a reason on there. I thought there was.
There probably is.
It says that ship's 133 feet long. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big ship.
God damn. I wonder if they could tell the depth of it from the sonar or whatever.
They might be able to. Yeah. Or have an idea what it is. That's crazy. I was going to say, did you hear that Jon Stewart, this is on the Good News Network, he's retiring, was it August 6th? It'll be sad when he's gone. But he bought an animal sanctuary in upper New York with his wife. And
that's what rich people do.
That's what he'll be doing. I guess they take it. I don't know if they take in strays. I don't know how that shit works, but I'll go. If I can sit down and talk to him, I'll get a kitten. Is that what this is all about? I mean,
a kitten?
I'll get anything. I don't care. Oh, and then I thought the other thing that was cool was Tesla Motors. Elon Musk has that new house battery. $3,500. You hang it on the wall in your garage, and you can use it to power your house. That's pretty cool. That's
right here, right?
Yeah, because people have always had a hard time harnessing whatever renewable energy they had. Who wants a bank of 20 car batteries in your garage, And so now he...
That's not... You know what Tesla does? They make shit sexy.
True.
You know what I mean?
It's pretty. Yeah, it is kind of a piece of wall art.
You look at the standard automotive companies, they don't make electric cars like really sexy. Oh, thanks for the smart car. Right. I don't want to fucking drive that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Why don't you take a muscle car look?
Yeah, see how that poured?
Yeah, that's impressive.
I was pouring from that.
I'll show you that too.
Never mind.
They do make it sexy.
But they do.
Yeah. But did you think the Chevy Volt, that wasn't too bad. But the Chevy Volt, the concept vehicle was sick looking, and then the one that came out was almost was really boxy looking.
Space aged?
No, it looked like a normal car, but it was the concept car looked kind of like cool and wide and sleek, and this one was just more like a boxy.
Yeah, like a souped up Prius, basically.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, why the Prius?
I heard they're great. I mean, I heard the Volt actually is a pretty good car, but
a friend of mine has one. He loves it. Mm-hmm. He drives it to work, and then when he gets to work, he plugs it in to the workplace, gets off work, battery's completely charged again, drives it home. I think the idea of electric cars are amazingly cool. I also think the idea that I have no idea why they haven't stumbled across is taking old muscle cars that every single person loves. Every single person loves one type of muscle car, something in there. And generally the Camaro SS is like the standard thing, or the Mustang back in the day. Those are like the staples of, oh, I love that muscle car. Why don't you just take that? Put a fiberglass body on it, steel shell, make it safe, and then put like they're doing
I
with the
saw
Prius.
this week they came out with the zero emission battery powered motorcycle now. Have you seen that one?
No, I
It
have
looks like
not.
a Ducati, but it's got a battery for a motor on it. I mean, it's insane, but people were freaking out because they're like, well, you're going to get hit by cars because nobody can hear you. Like there's no noise to it. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah, no
so all
Harley,
these-
no
all
hog
these-
sounds.
Yeah, all these hardcore Harley people are like, oh, you're going to get run over because we can't hear you.
Hey, dude, pull up Zombie 222. Just type in Zombie 222 car.
He's
And
like,
pull
Why,
that.
is that the motorcycle?
No,
I'm trying to look up the motorcycle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
right there, zero motorcycles. Go up there. The electric
Oh, this
motorcycle.
one right here.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's the guy's.
Come on.
Oh, wow, that's great looking.
It's not bad.
No, I like that a lot.
That looks
I think that's
very
great.
much like the Sportster Ducati. That looks a lot like it. Oh, look at the
Bikes.
touring bike.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
like the touring bike.
Yeah.
That
We have a dream of getting BMWs and like driving
Right.
around the world or something. That'd be sick.
do a world tour. Okay, we also have another dream.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
The other dream is finding a really kick-ass RV,
Like an old one. Like
an
some
older
old,
one,
like-
you know,
Right.
wire it up with
Okay.
lav mics or whatever, so
Right.
it's always hot.
Right.
Put some mic or camera stands around there, and we just drive around the country and interview really
different
awesome people.
people.
And we're like, hey, come on in.
Oh, we thought that it would maybe
And
be
you
fun to
can-
find like a local RV place. We'd say, well, hey, we'll slap your name on the side and we'll go all over the United States and we'll do a
Advertise
podcast
for
every
them.
week, advertise
Yeah.
it kind of thing. But
Yeah,
the ones I
that's-
talked
that's
to
another
had
dream.
issues with
Insurance, right?
insurance. Yeah, they said they couldn't do it.
But
So.
that's just a dream. It's okay.
Can you pull up
Everybody needs to have a
Zombie
dream.
222?
I really don't want to.
Okay, you
Okay.
should.
No, I will.
Because we're talking
I
about
will.
electric cars.
I will. Zombie222, huh? .com.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're talking
www.
about a muscle car. You wait till you see this thing. It is unbelievable.
All right. I hope there's something here. Ooh.
Look at right there.
Oh, yeah.
You can kind of jump ahead if you want to. You don't have to watch this whole thing. I think it's pretty
I'm
long.
not scared. I've got a healthy concern, you know?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so old that I have a death wish, but I'm not going to back away from trying to do it. With the record being 155, what I have to do is beat 155. But what I want to do is to hit 170 miles an hour.
Have you
That
seen
means
this,
that
Brad?
I have
Look
to
at that
have
fucking
No.
car.
It's
broken
the
record.
sickest thing.
It's unbelievable.
So he's
Oh.
trying to break like the land speed record with an electric vehicle? Or
Yep.
what?
Yeah, and this is exactly to what I'm talking about.
Right.
Check out this mother.
And when he stomps it, it's, like you said, it's just quiet.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
You just hear the tires, that's it.
Look at that thing.
And is a gambler.
Sweet.
I hate to say this reference because there's, in business, so many people make jokes about if you build it, they will come. In this kind of a case, you got to prove it, and they will come.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's the second fastest car. It lost only to the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Well, I
is-
never heard of that place where anybody can take their car and just go race it.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of neat. Yeah, like anybody or any vehicle. That guy has a motorcycle. Now you fixed up. Are you fixing up a truck?
Yep. I have. It's
You don't
actually,
have to keep playing that, buddy. I just wanted to show you the car.
I know. I'm trying to gently like
you start to
ease the
phase down,
volume
real-
down.
real
Oh,
professional.
that was
Yeah.
great. It sounded good.
Thanks. Normally I just
Yeah.
But you had, is it like a work truck?
So it was actually my grandpa passed away a couple years back. It was my mom's dad, and we grew up on a farm outside of Des Moines. And he owned the farm before us, then bought another one, built a house right around the block from us out in the country there. And there had always been his old trucks that just sat out there on the farm, just literally
Yeah.
just sat around back. And so it came down to it, and we were kind of going through all of his belongings, and I kind of talked to my mom like, "Hey, is anybody gonna do anything with those trucks out back?" And my mom's like, well, they're not worth anything. They've been sitting there rusting for God knows 30,
Right.
40 years, you know. And I said, well, I'd like to take one of them. She's, what are you gonna do with it?
God, I'm getting excited.
You know,
just
I
listening
know,
to
it's
this.
cool.
I said, it's like, well, I said, I think it'd be kind of a cool tribute. I said, just to bring it back to life. And I said, and put some money into it. And I said, I kind of use it towards my company as actually a marketing thing for myself, but also a way to, you know, just, I'm big on fixing things and, you know, giving them a second life around. So, I'm working with Eddie's Rod and Customs here in town.
Is that it right there?
What's that? No,
Oh, God, I was like, Grandpa, what are you into?
no,
No, it's like a normal truck,
Yeah,
like
if
a
you-
farm truck.
If you pull up Eddie's Rod and Customs, they got a website on there, and they actually have like a photo gallery of it. I mean, we're talking like decrepit, sitting, rusting, frame on the ground. So we literally went out to my brother and I took a big skid loader, forks, lifted it up out of the ground, and sat it on a trailer.
Wow.
And brought it up here, and we brought it up. It's been about a year and a half ago, and I took it down there. And I told him what I'm going to do, and he kind of looked at it. And he's like, "Oh boy."
Because it was so rusted, or
Yeah, it was just it. I mean, it had like, you know, it was kind of like a two-faced truck. The one side you're like, oh, that doesn't look bad, and you turn to the other side and you're like, oh.
So
he
is
smokes.
it? Where would I
Wow.
find it here?
Go to see if they updated in the shop there. Otherwise, their Facebook page is the one that they do. There you go. See the '49 Chevy truck?
Oh, we're here.
Yeah. So that's what it looked like originally, and then they go through.
Oh, that is a
step
cool
by
truck.
step and show it getting all torn apart. And so we actually took, and what we're doing is kind of modernizing the old '49 Chevy. So there's a company out there called Art Morrison that makes these custom chassis, like Pro Touring type chassis, to fit these old vehicles, because obviously the frame and everything was really all rusted out and stuff.
whoa,
There's a difference between the new and the old right there.
But look at that damage.
Yeah.
Rust.
Oh,
Holy
it
cow.
was crazy. I mean, you start looking through and see it, and I mean, most people would have just junked it out and started over, but
Is that in the new chassis right there?
yep. So that's them
look at
shipping
that.
it in. That was the first one that these guys ever used from them, and it's something they just came out with a couple of years back. And
That's cool.
what's really cool is, I mean, they hand make like all these replacement panels and everything.
Right,
That truck
like this
is,
right here.
This thing right
yeah,
here,
Right?
too.
yeah, like they custom make all that stuff from scratch. So they basically look and see what needs to be redone, and look at the old part, and they turn around and make
See,
it a
look
new
at
one.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we took that Pro Touring chassis, which is basically got the same handling as the Corvettes, like the late '90s, early 2000 Corvettes.
Which, why wouldn't you want that on a truck?
Right. Of course. Everybody needs that.
Exactly.
So we slapped that underneath of it, and then we went with a GM motor. You can see down there on the left. It's the LS3 motor, so it's what's in the new Chevy Camaro SS's. It's like 450 some horse or something like that, right
my
around
God.
there. Fuel injected. It's a wire in. Put an automatic transmission with it. It's got the big brakes. It's all updated, current, and
oh,
I mean,
look how it's coming back together.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Oh, look at that engine in that. Holy shit. That's awesome.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. You know, my family comes up, and I'll take my mom and dad over, and they get to look at it. You know, mom gets all teary eyed and stuff, and that sort of thing.
Right? Because she
That-
probably saw it either
Yeah.
being used or it was in that field.
Yeah, I mean,
still
he
as a little girl.
used it all the time. You know, he bought the truck new, used it, and so yeah,
Oh, look how roached out that is.
yeah.
Whoa.
That one here?
Yeah, look at on the right. You can see the whole
through
face
it.
Oh,
is
yeah.
rotted through.
Man. So did they have to fabricate that too?
Oh, look, yeah, the whole thing is missing
Oh,
Yeah.
And then they
was
replaced it
just
with
too
this
bad. Oh wow.
underneath.
Oh, there it is. right
So we
there.
weren't able to keep a lot, but what they actually did is they took like the old box and fenders and stuff like that.
Mhm.
These guys, I mean, the creativity these guys have is amazing. Like I can't say enough about what they do. They actually took this thing and they made a bench for my parents' house. So they took all the old truck parts that we couldn't use that were too beat up or too rusted out, combined this, put it all together, put the taillights on the back, and made a seat out of it and runners, and it actually has electricity running to it and stuff like that. So to put it in their house and just something for them, so they have that. She has that keepsake,
Oh, that's cool.
and yeah, I mean, they're good guys, and the projects they do are just phenomenal. I mean, it's insane the stuff that
Wow.
runs through there.
We were actually just watching a car show today that we thought,
Counting cars, I think. is the thing.
Yeah.
man, anytime anybody, and it doesn't matter what you're into, it could be redoing a home, redoing cars,
Yeah,
just taking anything that's just disheveled and destroyed, and normally people would throw it out.
Right.
Anybody who can take that stuff and bring it back
Oh.
to the good old days, to its
Yeah.
prime, or even
over-
better. I mean,
or
this
like-
truck's going to be better than what it was
Yeah.
when it was
Oh
brand new.
yeah.
You know, and that was my goal with this. Like, I want to drive this thing. Like, I don't want to have a truck that I feel like I can't ever drive. I can't hop on the road, and I got to worry about it. You know, so that's what
So
we're doing.
what was up with this? Was there a window? Was the old truck? Did the old truck have a window right here?
No,
Just
that's
scroll
what
back
it was.
up.
That's
It's
where it was
probably
rusted
rusted
out.
out.
So
Oh,
they-
that's where it was. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Okay.
Right there.
So they took that rusted out piece.
Yep, cut it out and made a new one, put it in, and fit it just
my
like new.
God.
God, that is amazing.
Yeah, I
Look
mean,
at that hand hammered pan, dude.
Yeah.
Look at
Right
that.
there.
Holy cow. That really is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean the stuff they think of that. You know, I walk in, they're like, "Hey, check this out." I'm like, I never would have thought of that. You know, you know, like, oh, we made the, you know, like there, he's talking, he's like, we got the transmission covered just like better than factory with firewall this, and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But it's something fun for me to look forward to, like outside of work. It's kind of my release, you know, besides working out and the kids and stuff like that. I enjoy like running down there on a late Friday afternoon and just stopping in and, you know, shooting the shit with the guys and just see what they've done for the week.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
Right.
Obviously it's something I'm paying for, but you know what? It's cool.
Well, and it sounds like
enjoy
they're
it,
excited about it too.
Oh,
they
yeah.
love doing it, so that's kind of
Yeah, like we've never done one like this, and like I said, a lot of it's a first for them, so it's able for them to think outside the box.
So
and
what are you
really
going to do
stretch
with the bed? Are you going to do the wood?
a little bit. Yep.
The
Yep.
wood inlay?
Do the wood inlay with the metal dividers in
So
it.
you gonna take it to
talking
shows
about.
and stuff like that when you get done, or
you know,
it really is just for
it's,
you to enjoy?
yeah, it's just for me to enjoy. I want the kids to enjoy it. You know, I'm putting a bench seat in it rather than the bucket seats. So I want to I got two boys, 7, one that just turned 7 this past week, and then one that's 8.5. So I said that was a couple reasons why we made an automatic versus a stick. I'm like, I want to be able to throw them in there and go around.
Sure.
You know, whether we'd use it in parades and stuff like that for a little bit of advertising, but I mean, I want to be able to go out and meet with customers and do whatever. You know, drive to
Sure.
the ball games on the weekends, whatever I want to do, and just have that ability.
So
you
it's
know?
something that's not going to be sitting in a garage that you polish all the time. You're going to use it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to use it when I get done. And growing up, my dad got me into vehicles. That was the one thing they let me get into. Is my family always jokes, and my wife gives me a hard time. Like I had 21 vehicles before I was 21 years old. Like I started with is like one of those like you've seen like the trade up shows, the bartering ones. You know, literally I traded a push mower that didn't work for a car to my uncle. That was the first car I got. I turned around and
Wait a
drove-
second. You stiffed your uncle with a mower that didn't work?
It needed a carburetor or something.
Dude, my
He's like- he goes,
grandfather.
"I'll take it."
All right, I won't get into my. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, so I started, I mean, this piece of crap, like 84 Renault car, you know, I mean, just the roughest looking thing you've ever seen. And
At least it's French.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh.
What the fuck does that look for?
I'm just wondering what the fuck that comment was about.
At least it's a fancy.
At least it's French?
Like it's fancy.
If you're talking
Okay.
about a lady, then I'm like, goddamn right. At least it's French.
Right.
Okay, I'll wash my P's and Q's from now on. Are you gonna be
I'm
happy
just,
about
no,
that?
I'm just wondering.
I thought it was French. It's a fancy. I had a Le Car when I was in high school.
Car?
Yeah, it was
That
horrible,
sounds
and it
really
wasn't sexy at all. But at least it was French.
I had a AMC
AMC
hatchback
Gremlin.
Eagle. Yeah, it looked like a gremlin. It was two-tone shit brown
Yep.
from my grandfather, and he had put sheepskin covers on the seats with a
Stinky, sweaty.
nasty radio and house speakers in the back. I'm like, Grandpa, you really put house speakers in the back?
Sound comes out right.
You'd get to about 45 degrees, and it was just fucking shit. The U joints had gone out within I don't know how many weeks of me owning the car, and it just
That's back
shake.
when they made really bad American cars too.
Oh,
God, those were
God.
horrible. Anyways, what was your you Renault to what?
So I went from that to this like old grandpa's S10 truck that, you know, 2-wheel drive S10 truck with a topper and like the old running boards that just nothing to it. And I think it was like $1,000. And so I sold the Renault, got the S10 and started tinkering with fixing these things up and making them look nice. And I turned around and sell them.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, I'm 16 years old and I'm wheeling and dealing cars like on the weekends, like and
Nice.
literally all by myself. My dad's like, "Well, what do you think that's worth?" So I'd get online, I'd start looking at this, and I'd talk to people. I'm like, back then it was looking at the newspaper, it wasn't get online,
Right,
So,
right.
Right.
You know, so I'm like looking through the classifieds. I'm like, I think I can get like $2,500 for this thing now. Turn around, and sell that. Went to a Ford Ranger, and then literally just anytime I'd see a car, I'm like, I think that's cheap. So I turn around, and just buy it, sell it, and that was what I did. And then I got into my senior year. I was like, I kind of enjoy the old cars. So I bought an old 71 Chevy Monte Carlo. Just big old
Wow.
boat.
big boat that I thought was a muscle car. You know, had some Mako paint job on it at the time. And I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And so literally had a 2-barrel carburetor on it, 350, ripped the whole thing out. And so my senior year, like early on in my senior year, I was into sports big time in high school. I got in a few partying issues, you could say, at the beginning. So this was kind of my way to keep me out of trouble, was the car thing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to work on this car.
And
so,
who did you say again taught you all about cars?
my grandpa that actually owned the 49 Chevy truck, he could work on anything. I mean, literally anything. He lived on a farm, but I mean, he built motors for vehicles, for equipment, and taught me how to weld, use a torch, just how to tinker with all this stuff. So he got me into it from the very beginning. And then I had a buddy of mine in high school that his dad was huge into cars. Had a 67 RSSS Camaro that was all original, but he just taking care of it, and at a Buick Grand National and some of these other things. So we got into, I became good friends with him and his dad and started hanging out. His dad I was like just kind of peering over his shoulder and learning how to do this stuff. And he's like, why don't you get a car? Let's do something with one of yours. I'm like, all right. So we got this Monte Carlo, and there's a group of us that ended up getting into cars in high school. And we used to go down to Eddyville down on the weekends, and they got a raceway down there. It's an 8-mile drag track. So they have what's called test and tune nights on Friday nights. So anybody can go down. It's like $10.
Oh, wow.
And you just trailer your car down or drive. I just drove mine,
Right.
I think this big old thing. It's got, just like the old caddy, it just bounces. And
Oh, that's awesome.
so went
Back
down
when
to-
you could afford gas to.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we drove down there. It's probably 45 minutes, hour, I think, drive from where we lived. And we'd go do that every Friday night and then come back and we'd add something or do something different. And so, yeah, it just kept evolving into one thing or another. And I had that. I had about a 77 Corvette. Actually, it was funny. My dad and I went to one of those Meekum car auctions.
Oh, wow.
You see on TV all the time. They had
The one that's in the Midwest or the...
Yeah, so they had one down at the fairgrounds in Des Moines, and they're huge now. They go everywhere, just like the big boys. But so we went down there, and it was prom that day, and I'm like, man, I've always wanted a Corvette, And they started going through, and he's like, what do you think of that one? It's bright yellow. I mean, they called it Viper Yellow Corvette. And it was a 77, had like the metal T-tops and stuff on it, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. And next thing you know, he's like, well, what do you think it's worth? So we figured out what it was worth, and it just zooms past it. And I'm like, oh, boy, Dad, we're done. We're done, And it's like they're down to, all right, getting ready to throw the gavel. And he's like, throws up one more number, and they're like, it's sold. And I'm like, oh, Mom's going to kill you. That's exactly my first thought. I'm like, that's too much money. Mom's going to kill you for this one. But literally got it. And my wife today was my date for prom at that time, too, because we met in high school.
Sold with the Viper Yellow.
Yeah. I mean, just the most flamboyant vehicle you could possibly think of.
That's awesome.
A lot of people are like, "Hey, have you planned everything? Do you have everything ready for prom? Do you have the hotel room? Do you have the tux? Do you have your corsage?" Yeah, and I picked up a Corvette.
Right.
So we're set.
So we bought this. I roll up, pick up my wife, or at the time my girlfriend. She's like, "What is that?" Yeah, I got it today for prom.
You did this all for me.
Right. No, she was like, how am I going to get in that?
Yeah,
Like, that's
exactly,
what not like, wow, that's cool. How am I supposed to get in in this dress?
In and out.
Right.
Right.
So, but yeah. So that got me hooked. And ever since then, college, I got out of it because I had sports and everything else going on. And now, the truck, to bring it full circle, the truck kind of got me back into it, kind of lit the fire again, and I love it. I mean, it's cool.
Where do you go to college?
So I went 2.5 years down at Northwest Missouri State, down in Maryville, Missouri. Division II, played baseball down there for 2.5 years. Had a couple knee surgeries and decided that I was good with that and wanted to finish up school.
Because you were a catcher, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I thought I
Very
remembered.
good. That's impressive.
Oh yeah.
And so then Amanda, my wife at the time, was up at University of Iowa. So we'd been doing the long distance thing for a while, and I said, you know what? I'm good. I'll just move up here. So I moved up there and actually moved in with an apartment full of girls my first semester. So it was like her sister and 4 other sorority girls I'd lived with for one semester.
Not her?
No, not even her. She was at like the sorority house.
Oh.
So I'm like down the streets living with her sister and 4 other chicks.
Dude, that would be really difficult.
Oh, it was it was awkward.
It was awkward for sure, but not difficult in the sense of he's got a girlfriend and wife.
Right. But
So that's
still,
not-
No, it would be difficult to
Did they walk
remain.
around? Did they walk around in their underwear and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
God damn, that sounds fun.
So I'm like,
It sounds fun. It sounds really difficult.
yeah, I'm like darting across the hallway and the tally. And I'm like,
Walking around holding a pillow in front of you. How's it going? Good to see you. Hey, how's it going?
I will not think about who's in this house with me. I will not think about who's in this house with me.
So that was a fun experience. But now I got an apartment by myself the next year, and we got engaged, and then from there I moved up here. So
Wow,
that's pretty cool. Now,
so you did graduate from Iowa then?
I did graduate from there.
Cool.
Yeah, finance degree at Iowa. So
wow,
Yep.
that is pretty good.
And so when did having your own business fit into that? Did you just find this niche or was stone work? I mean, that's kind of a different thing.
I had no intentions to getting into this business, honestly. It was a friend of mine from high school. His dad was a builder down in the Des Moines market, big, like the state's biggest custom home builder at that time. And they came to me and approached me while I was still at Iowa finishing up my last semester. And they said, hey, we've been using this product a lot. And my buddy Brett had been working for this company. And he's like, I think we should start a showroom over there in Eastern Iowa. He's like, nobody does it over there yet. Nobody sells this stuff.
And what's the name of your company? Just so everybody can know.
My company's Iowa Stone Supply.
Okay.
So at that time, the company that we formed was called Legacy Stone. So I just opened the branch and managed it for him. I did not own it at the time.
Okay.
And, my thought was, I'll do this for a couple of years. I don't have anything to do, It's like I'm getting out of college. I don't have a job.
Right.
At the time, I thought I was going to go into investments and stock market and that sort of thing, and I interned with a couple different companies with that stuff. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to be behind a desk with this degree,
So it wasn't like Wolf of Wall Street for you?
No.
I think most of it's not.
I wanted all that money, but I didn't want to do anything for it. So
Okay.
it was one of those things,
Which you're right. It's working with stone all day.
Oh, it's a lot more exciting. For sure. But so started that up. We opened an office. Actually, so we went into, I don't know if you're familiar with downtown, the old Hubbard Ice Building. Where they had the scale. It's right on First Street, downtown on the river, on the west side of the river, north of where Swiss Valley Farms was down there. And Zion Productions. So, literally when we went to look at the space, we knew a guy up here that was in business doing some other stuff. He's like, let me get you in contact with this realtor. And we went in, this place was like abandoned ghost town, hadn't been touched for 60 some years.
Wow.
Had the old scale outside where they used to, so they'd literally cut these chunks of ice out of the river and pull them in and weigh them on the scale outside the ice building.
Whoa, that's
and
neat.
And then put them into the cold storage area.
That's cool.
It was a really cool historical building. So we went in and gutted it and got it all up to date and opened up the showroom down there and did that. So we were there for I think 3 years. So we stayed in it for 3 years, and it was a good location for us. It really got us up and running. I made my first sales call and meeting, and it was February of my senior year at Iowa. I didn't even have a degree. Didn't know what I was doing. Literally, read some books, went down, watched this stuff go up, and I'm like, man, I can sell that. I can talk to people, not a big deal. So came up into that, and we moved out of that space. Our lease was up 6 months before it flooded. So,
oh shit!
And literally, I still have on the DVR the Katie Couric headline news, and the helicopter is right at the front of the building, and the water is at the roof line. So it's 19 feet deep up to the front of that thing.
That's terrible.
And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking all of the stuff we did to that building, and we put in this huge, gorgeous, solid wood arched front door with iron, kind of make it look really old. Just gone. Oh, everything was gone. So
the currents along that part of the river were really bad too. God,
it was awful,
terrible.
So yeah, we were fortunate enough to get out of there when we did, and that sort of thing. But it was, shed a little tear, but it's all good. Yeah, we moved up to high ground.
But that would be, you talk about it now in past tense as, that was hard. We moved on. But that is a devastating thing, especially for if you have all of your time, your money, your energy, your livelihood, everything is wrapped up into this building that from an act of God and nature, it's destroyed. Yeah. Your whole livelihood is gone.
They were out of it, but you still look at it and go, shit, I spent a lot of time in there. I put a lot of work in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying it would crush a lot of people.
Yeah.
Instead of
the base of that whole building got set back 100 years from where it was with that flood, because everything, it had taken that long to update. Because if you go down there and see it, it's a huge facility. And we just took like the little frontage on First Street And I mean, there was a music band like company, like event place down there, and there's a millwork company, and like 10 businesses all within the same building, and all of them were just ousted, and all of them had just fixed up all the space. So yeah, it was crazy. It was a little intense. I mean, we were down there sandbagging and stuff, trying to help everybody out, even though we were out there because we knew all of them. And
Right.
but
Well, I remember I've said this before on the podcast. My mom was like, "So, was it really that? You know, they live in California. Is it really that bad? How are things going?" I'm like, "They're saying this set our city back 10 years and $2 billion.
You're not talking
We're
about
like completely like it just fucked everything up.
yeah,
And I don't think people who have an idea about
I'm trying to
living
think
next to a river, that it can flood, and that this is not a normal thing, and that when you drive, I was because before I was in my current job, and I was driving from the southwest side over the bridge on 380, and I looked over, and all of downtown was black, and then you look down, and that perception thing, the river looked closer than it really was, but knowing that it was so high, it was just really eerie.
It was crazy for us as we moved to a new building in Hiawatha. It was called Boyson Square Plaza. It's on the west side, like over where Snap Fitness was over there, and like across from the new Kirkwood Center. So we're over there, and our warehouse is over there behind Blair's Ferry Walmart on that side of town. And literally, we have customers go, "Well, when are you going to get over here to do this?" And I said, "Well, we can't get across the river. All the bridges were closed." Everywhere, at that time with that flood, you couldn't go from one.
Wait a
side
second.
of the
So
city
you
to
had
the
a
next.
customer saying, "When are you going to get? Hey, I realize there's a flood going on."
Literally, I mean, that's business. They don't.
Natural
They're just
disaster.
like, yeah. They're like, well, where are we at on the schedule? I'm like, I don't know. There is no schedule, guy. I'm like, I can't
anything.
physically drive to the other side of town
because
I'm
Edgewood was probably completely
Yeah.
flooded, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Edgewood was
Yeah, you
flooded.
couldn't get across.
I mean,
right.
380 closed down there because of the bridge.
That's
the
right.
water was up so high there, so it was.
God, it's fucking freaky. They shut down a highway bridge
Yeah.
because of the water. That's scary.
So yeah, it was quite the.
Wow.
And then you moved into your new site.
Your newest site is rather recent, though, isn't it?
Yes. So yeah, to finish up the long history of where I came from. Basically, we moved in that place in Hiawatha, and at 5 years into it, working for those guys, I kind of approached my buddy and I said, "Hey, here's the deal. I kind of have some bigger, better plans for what I want to do with this business." We were a single stone line company. We represented one line at the time. We only sold and installed our products. We would never just sell a product.
okay.
We didn't carry any natural stone. We didn't branch out at all. And so I'd kind of been thinking this whole time, I'm like, hey, I really want to make this thing bigger than what it is. We're kind of like the little mom and pop shop, where like we do a few houses here and there, and we're busy, but
And with construction in Cedar Rapids, you probably saw an opportunity.
oh
like
yeah.
that,
I mean, the market's great over here. It compared to like the Des Moines market, what we're seeing now, I mean, there's better margins. There's honestly, there's a labor shortage over in this area. There's a supplier shortage, so there's less competition. So I mean, there's more ability to make a profit and sustain, long term in this market. With even through the economic downturns we went to, this market, it went down, but nothing like the major metropolitan markets. People are just they're a lot more conservative with what they do with their money. The people that are buying houses in this market had the money to support what they were buying, and
Gotcha.
I don't know if it was more because there's a lot more local lenders versus like the national lenders, that sort of thing at the time. But it was a big thing for us to go through that and grow our business. But so yeah, I approached him. I went to him with a plan. I met with, I was fortunate enough to have some really good mentors through other business owners that I hung out with in town. So they set me up, all right, here's who you need for an accountant. Here's who we need to talk to for an attorney. Here's the banker you need to go to. Let's get everything put together. And so approach that. And that was by far the hardest thing
I was
I've
just
ever
going to
had
ask you, is that like a super scary step?
That
to take?
sounds so scary.
I was the best man in his wedding.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's how close we're. And my dad and his dad were best friends in high school.
Okay.
I mean, it is. So, I mean, there's a long train of, I'm like, this is going to suck, So, and literally, it's one of those things, where do you have this meeting? So I'm like, hey, you want to go to Granite City for lunch? I'm going to be in town. And
right.
got together, proposed it to him. And, he was just kind of shell shocked. And next thing I know, he shows up at the office up here and was like, all right, this ain't going to work. We got to figure something out. So I had my ducks in a row, so I knew what we were doing. And we, to this day, we're good friends still.
Good.
We worked through it. It was one of those things where it was a big deal for both of us, but it worked out. So yeah, from that point on, we finished up our lease there, and I turned around and bought some ground over in Hiawatha on the other side of the interstate there in Tower Terrace Commerce Park, Stamey Road. And we built a brand new building over there. So we have now, we've never had up until this point, our everything under one roof, all of our inventory, all of our showroom. So we basically went from on Boyson on the other side of the interstate, we were a 1,900 square foot showroom. That was it, just a storefront type setup. And now we have over 4,000 square feet of indoor showroom. We have a couple thousand square foot patio outside where we have all these working displays. And then we also have another acre of storage and warehouse space over there.
Awesome.
So it's great. It allowed us to become so much more efficient to grow the business and have everything there. So
This must be a picture of your showroom in here. That's
the old showroom. Yeah.
That's the old showroom.
That's the old one. So you can see that's literally how wide the space was.
Oh, really?
That's it.
So I'll get some footage this week.
You're gonna get some footage.
I'll get some footage so we can.
So if you go to,
you can throw it in there while he's talking about it.
Yeah, the Facebook page, like I said, is going to have the current facility. There's going to be more pictures, that sort of thing. And but yeah, it's that on the left there, the little profile picture. That's the front corner of the building. But it's it's great. It allowed us, like I said, the biggest thing is it and the timing. It just happened to work out to where when we got that place up and running, it allowed us to. We grew 50% in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Because of the efficiency that we were allowed to do.
We probably saved rent not having a storeroom somewhere else and then a storefront somewhere else. And then
our last 2 years at our old location, we had our showroom in Hiawatha and our warehouse in Marion over by Highway 13.
Wow.
We would waste 6 hours a day with guys
just traveling back and forth.
Oh, man.
But we couldn't, Hiawatha at the time didn't have anything.
Right.
They didn't want that space. This new development allowed it all to open up and get us that area to put everything under one roof, kind of an industrial type area, but still have the storefront. So,
hey, what's this right here? That looks like Josh. Is that the back of Josh?
Yeah, that's Josh and Nick over there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
That was National Cheeseburger Day. We did grill out for National Cheeseburger Day, so we just have random people stopping over.
But is that at
and a
your
CrossFit
facility?
guy's definitely going to stop by. And have
That's
a
at your
hamburger.
facility. That's at your new location,
Yep,
right?
that's
That
our
building?
patio out front. So
It's really
sick
great
is
that you're
that?
utilizing. It's nice that it looks nice, but it's awesome that you're utilizing it as well. Why not make it user friendly?
Yeah.
Are you getting really good at cooking in that oven?
I'm terrible at it.
Those chickens,
I'll be honest with
dude.
you.
That chicken looked good.
It did look good.
It's I was just trying to, because you sell a product and you tell people, oh, you can do this, but until you actually do it
and do it many
use
times, and
right?
get used to it.
Like I tell people, they're like, I sold a couple of those pizza ovens down. One of my buddies is like, man, I can't figure this thing out. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I get like 2 pizzas in, and I'm like out of heat. He's like, what do you do? I go, you want the truth? He goes, what? I was like, I built a big ass fire in that thing, and I says, I go get like Papa Murphy's or Hy-Vee pizzas. I says, because then I don't waste all the time prepping them.
Right.
And then I see what works. I was like, then I put it in there, and then I spin a pizza and I cook it. And I know, what I screwed up and what I did wrong and what to do better with the fire.
That's really smart. That's really smart to do with like a $5 pizza.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because, it literally, people take such pride into prepping and making these beautiful pizzas. And we tried that the very first time out the gate. And I slaughtered it. It was like pizza casserole that came out of this thing. It was bad. I'm like, my staff's like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, no, it's not. No.
But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're obviously seeing these photos up on the screen here with the chickens, and so this top piece, this top hole, that's where you put the food in, right?
That's where the fire and the food goes. So you'll see
fire and
there's
the food.
bricks in the back.
What's with this?
Corner.
What's with this area right down here?
So, that did have 2 doors, and the wind that came through ripped one off the other day.
Oh.
So it's getting fixed. But that's all log storage. So
Log
literally, you
storage.
fill
Okay.
that thing full of wood. You build your fires up top there. In the middle, you get it up to 800 to 1,000 degrees.
And then you push
it
the
back.
embers and everything back.
Yep. So
right?
the
That's
floor
what that
holds
is.
the heat down there, and then you set it in there, and then it cooks off of it. Wow. And like with the chicken, with the smoking, you actually put it on the opposite side from the fire because the dome of it makes
convection.
Yep.
Well, and like those Italian pizza dome things you see at like Nubo Market or at Lincoln. It's not Lincoln Cafe in Mount Vernon anymore.
Like a Lincoln Wine Bar.
There you go. Those are like $10,000 Italian ovens for fire.
On the cheap side.
On the cheap side. So this would be really cool to have in your backyard.
Yeah.
All right, I got to ask you this because I was looking through all of the pictures, and like I said, I love when people make houses look amazing.
Right.
And I used to do construction, and I know that labor of love, right? But you also had to have like this eye, this artistic eye, right? Are you involved in the concept, the creation of some of these things, or are you simply the supplier and you find people with that picture in their head?
We're fortunate to work with some really good local designers that we've teamed up with that allow us to get some really cool concepts and different ideas out there. But before I got teamed up with those, we had no choice but to come up with these different creative ideas, ways to explain this to people on how to use the products. So one thing like that Brett and I used to do when I worked for him is we would take a trip once or twice a year and we would go to different markets. So even if it was just like Kansas City, we'd go down there and spend the weekend and go through and tour houses and open houses in different communities to see what other people are doing.
Right. Sure.
And we'd go to Arizona, we go to Phoenix, we go look through houses down there. We go to Las Vegas, we go to Florida, wherever there was a show or a reason to go. And we just spend 2 days and just see that and try to incorporate. That's the big thing that we really try to do is, we like to make the sale, don't get me wrong, but we want it to be cool. We want to be proud of it when it's done.
Right.
That's why I tell people, I'm like, they're like, well, does that look? And I go, here's the difference between us and the guy down the street. We're not going to allow you to do something that looks ugly. I'm like, I don't want to sell you a stone. I don't want you to do some combination at the end of the day. I'm going to go, don't go look at that house. It's bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the weird thing about stone, because I was telling Todd earlier, I go, would it be grandiose? Would it be too much? If
I'm pretty sure
I do sometimes do that.
I'm pretty sure I said yes.
No, you actually agree with me. I said, would it be too much if I said that Brad Potter resembles in a way the builders of the pyramids back in the day? He goes, no. I was so surprised, Brad. I was so surprised that he said that wouldn't be grandiose.
He said no, but don't use the Australian accent. So
right. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
But on a serious note, the stone work that people put in, that shit stays there until you purposely tear it down.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than woodwork. Woodwork can go to shit. It can be stained. It can dry out. It can splinter. And people are like, oh, that looks like shit.
Right.
But stonework, that's there.
Yeah.
That's permanent. That's one of those permanent things. And it's weird to me how dated stone can be.
Yep.
And you look at something, you're like, okay, so why the fuck is that modern and that is dated? Why is it? What is telling me? No, I don't know. I don't know jack shit about stone. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about it. But if I look at that house, I'm like, oh God, that's dated.
Right. Yep.
I look at this house, I'm like, that's brand new. That looks really cool. Why do I think that looks cool?
Right.
What is it about that? And how do you? Now currently you still are going around and seeing what is like the new freshest thing.
Like I went out to Las Vegas had the International Home Builders Expo.
God, I would so badly want to go to that fucking thing.
Oh, it's amazing. So, and this year's the first year they actually incorporated the furnishing show, the window coverings, the floor coverings, the kitchen and bath expo. So it was like this huge week-long event of everything and anything that's construction and new home design. And then also what they do every year is they build what's called the All-American Home. So they build one house that has the state-of-the-art, cutting-edge design of everything that's anything right now. So like anything that's green energy. You got solar shingles now going on in the houses out there. So they're incorporating that into it. Literally, there's a Chevy Volt car parked in the driveway, a little promo for them, of everybody's green type thing.
Right.
And, but it's, what's the color of the year, and it's like, okay, I get that, but it's really cool because you can incorporate, like you look at, so the top left two pictures there and the next couple rows down, that's our new Urbandale facility.
This here?
Yep. So the one on the right there up above, see the black tables?
Yeah.
That was our grand opening last December for that place. And then the rows down are all things within that. So the thing we did different with that facility, which now
that looks almost like I want to drink wine.
Okay.
Like I'm going to go look at stone and drink wine.
Exactly. So with that one, you got to go the other way.
Can you go back the other way?
Okay.
What I like is this. I like
this?
that because then you do a stone wall, but then you accentuate
That's fucking
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That
So
is
what we really
beautiful.
did with that place is anything that we saw that wasn't normal. Like the fireplace back in the corner, it's curved.
Yeah.
So the whole wall is curved. The whole hearth is curved out. The stone there, like with the lights, the stone's laid vertical. So it's not supposed to be laid that way, but you know what? It changes the whole look of it, the whole feel of it.
And with that lighting shining
yep.
up and down.
Yep. So you get the shadow lines, you get the different looks, like the column there on the right. What we did is it's a metal building, so we incorporated this beam, but we actually did a reverse taper. So it starts smaller at the bottom and it gets wider and deeper as it goes up. So just really kind of trippy different things with it, you know, that people don't normally see.
Yeah.
And we tried to hit every single different style. You know, we put barn doors in there for office doors. We went through actually, if you guys have seen West End Salvage.
Yeah.
They have their own TV show.
TV show.
So we went down to West End Salvage and they built us these reclaimed barn doors and a couple other items for there. And then we incorporated that. So, you know, like you were talking about all these different styles, what makes, you know, they call this modern transitional style, you know. So we got we polished just the bare concrete floors, but then there's barn board in this place. And then there's if you go through,
It's like an eclectic version of different timepieces.
So see that down left, go that picture right there. Nope, you were just on it.
The octagon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is a brand new product nobody else has. This is
it's fucking sacred.
So
it blows my mind because it's like sacred geometry
It's
looking
crazy.
stuff, right?
So it's all concave, convex tiles. It's made out of 90% marbled resin. It's
Okay.
marble dust. So basically,
Sure.
like anytime they saw marble, they take this and they put in a resin product with it. And so what they did is they made this, and literally, it looks like the most complicated thing ever to lay,
Yeah.
but it's basically dummy proof because all you do
It's
with
octagons, right?
it is
The cubes.
yeah.
No, but they're-
I see all the little. I see each individual.
Yep, but see,
little
there's a
cube.
point in the middle, so it's either sticks out or goes in. So like, there's actually every other piece.
It's
is in and out.
three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean, it's
awesome.
crazy. So we put that in there, and literally, we have more people that stare in the bathrooms at that showroom than we do in the regular portion.
I mean, I spend a lot of time in the bathroom,
yeah,
Facing away in
Right.
that bath.
yeah,
but I might actually look at the walls.
right, yeah,
That
That's amazing.
That's really, really neat because what I was actually gonna say, I don't know if you're into sacred geometry, if you've ever heard of sacred geometry.
I can't say that I am.
Well, you need to
but
listen to podcast 81 with Richard Moritz.
I believe it's 81.
I did see it on there. I do try to listen to the podcast.
But here's the really, really neat
It was
thing.
a pretty good one.
Because it's not just for like brainiacs. It's
Right.
not just for people going, look at I found the pattern.
right.
You guys, you're a modern day stonemason. You're like, it's just so neat the math that goes into
Right.
figuring out, okay, well, we're gonna redo this column over here on the right, and we're gonna start out small, we're gonna end up larger, and we got to figure out the proper dimensions of that. How would it look balanced? How do we make it unbalanced but balanced? You know what I'm saying? You're starting small, you're going large.
Yep.
So how do we make it even on both sides? There's a lot of math. There's a lot of how do we figure out this problem? And with stone, you're dealing with a lot of weight. It's not like
Yeah.
you're just throwing up wallpaper.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, sacred
So-
geometry, man. You
I
gotta
gotta hear this.
you got a lot of
This
math.
is
I mean, when I looked
intense.
at this,
Yep.
that's the first thing that jumped into my head.
And
was,
me too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so
Wow, look how cool this looks, because it looks like cubes
Mhm.
at an angle, but what it really is a beehive
Mm.
of
Yep.
tiles that are individually shaped either in or out.
Yeah, every
Cool.
every way you turn that, each side is a different thickness. So the way to lay it, you just rotate the piece until it lines up with the thickness of the piece next to it. And then you come in here and you rotate around until you get these to line up. And so it's just piecing that whole wall together as you go up.
Well, the cool part is first of all, it's recycling some product,
Mm-hmm.
and second of all, it's dummy proof,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's
I don't know. I'd
that's-
probably
I mean,
fuck it up.
don't get me wrong. It's one of our highest end products. It comes out of, it's a designer out of Italy that came up with this stuff. And I mean, it's a really cool idea. It's a really cool product. Like that one up close, it's actually got texture of like a old barnwood texture to it.
Oh, wow.
We have ones that are like more modern looking, that are going to be the smooth, like stark white type look to it. But yeah, I mean, it's neat. It's something that people are like, ooh, what is that? We took it to our home show booth and we just put some samples out and some pieces, and people just walk by and pick it up and we're like, what is
Mesmerized.
Yeah, they're like,
That's awesome.
What is this stuff?
It's like looking at a kaleidoscope.
yeah. But so we're getting ready to do a display up here since we have it down there and we have a good reaction to it. We're just going to do like an accent wall, literally like
Sure.
behind a piece of furniture, put it up on the wall, just an
Oh, that'd
abstract
be
shape.
beautiful.
You know? So
I could totally see that being an accent wall
mhm.
if I had the cash for it. But that looks
Yeah.
awesome. That looks really neat. So I dig this. You know, when I first thought about, like, I would drive by King's Concrete on 6th Street.
Yep.
Right. And I always thought about people that worked with stone, like almost like a junkyard.
Mhm.
Like you would drive in and there's pallets of stone and you go into the small little building, the small little room, and you're like, fuck, I don't know. I'm building a house. God, I got to think about countertops and fucking paint colors on the walls and what type of wood do I want? I don't know about stone. Oh, let's just go with that. Okay, it's on pallet 23. When you go, when I'm looking at these pictures of your showroom, you really do a wonderful job of saying, okay, if you like this stone, this is how it could be applied. Bam.
Mhm.
Here's something beautiful that you could do with that stone.
Yeah.
And the first time I walked into your shop, that was the first thing that caught me off guard. I was like, I could just walk around and see different fireplace ideas or different wall ideas right when you walk in the door. So you don't have to try to conceptualize what that sample would look like on a whole wall. Oh, there it is right there. And it's got a cool shelf bit into it. Built into it or
Did you
something
do
like
any classes in psychology? Because what you're making me want to do here is spend money.
Yeah.
You're creating something cool. It's a labor of love, and you're being artistic and creative and all that. But you're really just making me want to spend money.
Right. Yeah. It's very easy to do in our showrooms. I'm not going to lie, but it's, I love doing it. I love branching out. And the thing we try to do with each showroom is we try to show every single style available. You know, so whether it be rustic, whether it be modern, whether it's traditional, whether it's craftsman, you know, so that's the one thing that I would say that I really try to do early on with the stone careers. I'd literally go to Barnes and Noble and sit and read books on architecture. So I'd be like, all right, this is English colonial, this is colonial mansion, this is Victorian, this is this, and try to learn what the basic terminology is, what the basic architecture is of those time periods, those styles. So when I'm seeing this stuff that I can, better describe, and, I don't ever like to have somebody be more educated in what I do than what I am. So I always
That's a good philosophy.
I always
Todd.
know going into a meeting that I'm going to know more than the other person in my industry.
Right.
Because I spend more time with it. I find anything and everything that comes out, and I immediately want to know about it, whether it be installation practices, whether it be new products, whether it be some new code, whatever it is, like with our installation, we go so much more above and beyond than everybody else with our products and with what we tell people to use, because you go outside of the state of
as
Iowa.
far as code, you mean?
Yeah. So building code, there's standard practices that people have to follow, and it's boring. It's stuff that most people don't want to know about.
Right.
But for us as a company, it's things that protect us as a company. It's what gives us longevity. It allows us to pride ourselves on, if we do an install versus just selling the material, or just your general homeowner that's going to do it themselves. We want to be able to tell them the right way and to do more than just what's the bare bones.
That makes me think of Homes on Homes.
Yeah, do it the right way the first time.
Or when he went in and found something, he'd be like, well, we have to fix this. No. We have to take this whole area out, jack the whole building up, put in a new. I mean, you're just going, what are you talking about? Because he's like, anything else is just going to be a Band-Aid. It'll come back worse. So, I mean, that's awesome.
What I really liked on that show was at times they would take like a pry bar and they'd barely touch a fireplace and it would just go, it would just fall down.
No wall ties or anything.
And he would say, okay, that's a great, I should have to really be sweating. I should really have to be busting my ass to tear this thing apart. Yeah. And then other times that they are, he's like, oh God.
Yeah. And so do you have installers that work for you? Or you have your own people? Or do you shop that out? Or?
So basically the way our company sets up is we have 11 employees right now currently within that are actually employees of Iowa Stone Supply. And that's split between our Hiawatha location and our Urbandale location. And then we're actually in the process of hiring 2 more people, one for each location. But then on top of that, we have about 45 subcontract installers that work for us. So what we do is we have strict subcontract agreements that lay out everything, all the insurance requirements, everything that these guys have to follow that's 100 times more stringent than what is required by most people. But we feel that, we want to have the best, so we try out each guy before we ever do anything, but.
All right. So I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
How if I was like somebody that was laying stone, I really need the work. I'm going to try to get hooked up with you guys. How does somebody go about, meeting you and getting under?
I mean, for me, it's pretty easy. I can spend 2 minutes with somebody that's done stone and know whether they're the type of person that we want to install our product. Because there is a difference between somebody that's been doing it wrong unknowingly versus somebody that's knowingly out there cutting corners so they can take home more money.
Right.
And that's the type of people we really try to stay away from. But, we go out and take a look at their work. We'll check with past references, see why they're not working for the competition or another builder or something like that.
Sure.
And then kind of go that route and then educate them on what we do. And you can kind of see the wheels turn within their head. They're like, this guy's crazy. What are we doing? Why are they doing that?
Right. And
so, but our guys, the main thing we look for is, as a company, we push the stringent install techniques, but we really look for the artisan type people. We want the people that can paint the pretty picture with stone when it's done.
Right.
That
has that eye and like, I should put this slightly different color stone in now.
You can't teach that.
Right.
That's the part you can't teach. You can teach the techniques and the installation methods, the fundamentals, exactly. But you can't teach, somebody that actually takes the time and the care to do it the right way.
Right.
And that's something that you have to have somebody that has pride in their job. And honestly, that's getting harder and harder. With our state in general and nationwide, there's a labor shortage out there in our industry, construction industry wide and skilled trades. Oh,
really?
It's
is
awful.
this what's his name?
Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe's talking about?
I think it is what Mike Rowe is talking about, but also with the 2008, the crash of the market with home building. I think people might. Well, I don't know. I'm just I'm hypothesizing that maybe people are nervous about, I really need to have my livelihood in this market again because I got so fucked in 2008. So I don't know if it's that or if it is simply the fact that we are all so mind fucked into thinking, I got to get my 4-year degree. After I get my 4-year degree, I'm going to be set. And then how many people are getting out of these colleges with no jobs lined up? Yeah. And then the jobs that are out there, they're like, fuck, I do have to work.
Yeah. Well, I heard a guy wrote an article recently, I think it was in the New Yorker, that said that the title of the article was "Don't Follow Your Passions," which is like the opposite.
Right.
And then, of course, in the article it said, find a job that you enjoy doing and you like doing, and then find your passion within that. Or find a job that you like doing and you enjoy doing, and then that your passion is something you do on the side, because you have to be realistic about your opportunities. Not everybody's going to be a famous painter.
Sure.
Well,
that kind of thing.
I tell my employees, I'm like, there's probably not too many people out there that really have a passion for stone. Like, I'm obviously out of the norm with that. I love the product. I loved all the different ideas about it. So it is a passion of mine. It kind of grew into it. Obviously, I didn't grow up thinking, I can't wait to sell stone when I get older. This is going to be awesome. But I enjoy it. I love going to work every day. I love what I get to do. And I tell my employees, I'm like, I am never, ever going to be mad or upset if you come to me and say, you know what? I don't enjoy my job anymore. I'm going to say, go find something you like.
Right.
And that's why I tell them, I'm like, if there ever comes a day where you just decide, hey, I don't want to come to work anymore. That's the day you need to find a new job that you enjoy.
Right.
Because
I wish you the best.
And it's not a bad thing.
No. And that's exactly, there's no hard feelings, plain and simple. I mean, people have careers, they move on, they develop new interests, new passions, new hobbies. And, we've been through employees, not a lot, fortunately, but there does come a time when you're like, it just clicks. You're like, this isn't
I'm ready to start a new phase in my life.
Exactly.
And I wish there were more bosses like that, because I think I stayed in a couple jobs too long just because I felt like I had to push through it and keep trying. And I wish somebody had said, hey, listen, why don't you start looking for something else that you really think you'd want to try? Stay with us and find something else so that you're a happier person.
Yeah. And I tell mine, I'm like, I got to, we're such a small company and so close knit. I mean, it's like family every day at work. My door's always open. People come in. I'm like, if there's ever anything, they talk to me freely. It's come in, tell me what you're thinking. Let's have a beer at the end of the day, whatever. Let's sit in the office and shoot the shit, and let's figure out where your head's at. And that's that's the thing. You know, I tell people it's really been interesting as my business has grown is the interwork drama and psychology side of it you get to deal with that you're like getting into it. I was never thought about that side of it. You know what I mean? Like
that is a fucking tricky thing because you can have the best. All right. So I used to work at a factory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I felt like I was a decent worker, but everybody feels like they're a fucking great worker.
Right.
Everybody does. I know when I first started there, I was shit.
Right.
18 years old, right out of high school. I think the first week that I was employed there, I was called 3 times and woken up.
Right.
Because I was supposed to be there in the morning doing training for day shift, you know. And the supervisor at the time, on like the 3rd time, I came in, he goes, listen, I want you to take the rest of the week off. Come back Monday and decide if you want to be here or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're late one more time, you're going to fire yourself.
Right.
And man, that clicked. I went out and bought a couple of alarm clocks. So I would never, you know, you're 18.
Yeah.
You're just, all your buddies are out at college and all they're doing is partying and going to class.
Yep.
But that really changed my life. And then I was there for just a few years, and then I went in the military. And then from the military, I came back. And from the military, you know, going back to this factory, I was like, okay, this is easy compared to the military.
Right.
I'm not gonna be the absolute best worker. I'm not the best.
Right.
But I felt like I wasn't a complete jerk off and slacker, you know. But then I went to being in management. After so many years, after like 10 years later, I go into management.
You should have heard the conversations we had about that.
Right, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be okay. I have a lot of friends. I'm friendly. I have a lot of friends on the plant floor. I know how this place runs. I've worked on a ton of different machines, so I have a really good concept of how the workflow should be. But that fucking relationship, that thing that some people either inherently have or you inherently fucking don't have. And I did not have that thing.
What thing is that?
I would go out on the floor with the best of intentions, like, hey, let me just start at the beginning of the shift. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to talk to everybody. Hey, how was your night? Blah, blah, blah. Do some little chit chat, blah, 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 you know, make everybody feel good. Hey, do you guys need anything? I'll get whatever you need. I'll go to the warehouse, get whatever you need, you know, your PPE, your gloves, whatever you need. You know? And then I would leave. And then the tomfoolery would start. And there was a lot of friendships that were fucking ruined
because
within
they
the
would
first year.
Start jacking around when you left, and because they knew you, so they thought they could screw around and that kind of thing.
I think because people had a hard time thinking, okay, dude, I knew who you were.
Right. You knew you before.
I knew who you were before, and now you're Mr. Serious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got responsibilities now. I can't show you favoritism and then, you know, kick that guy in the balls because he's doing the wrong thing. If he's doing the wrong thing and I look over and I see my buddy doing the wrong thing, I got to talk to you also. And then, you know, initially I would never be like, just like crazy. Yeah.
Right.
I would never crazy yell at anybody, but it was so difficult to try to have the best of intentions and to change somebody else's perception of you, how you're being perceived and how you think that you're putting yourself out there is 2 completely different things. That little piece of owning a business or trying to deal with inner company relationships.
Was it a little bit easier for you because you always were the boss? I mean, I understand you build relationships when you're working with people, but they still all kind of see you as the boss, don't they? Or is it not quite that easy?
Yes and no. The difference is, you know, there's some days where you're like, I wish, you know, I didn't know these people so well because it'd make it easier, like you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, because it's easier to discipline. It's easier to keep them on, you know, and give them more feedback, more criticism. But then there's days, you know, I'm so open. I'm so friendly. Like I'll hang out, you know, Brandon. I mean, you've met Brandon at 2.2 and that sort of stuff. I mean, he's been with me since the very beginning.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
You know,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So he joined me. Well, not the very beginning, but 2.5 years in. I hired him. He was the first employee I ever hired when I worked for the other company. And he's stayed with me through this whole process.
Cool.
And now
Wow.
he's basically my right-hand person with our Hiawatha and Cedar Rapids branch. And so I feel like I have a person that, I mean, I would trust him with my wife and kids. You know, it's that type of relationship where he's just there. He's got a great work ethic. Love the guy. I mean, does a great job. But and so
Especially since you dragged him in 2.2, and his first week of working out as a regular person was the fucking open workouts.
I know, I remember that.
Oh,
And
my God.
he was determined because that was when I helped you guys move from your old location to your new location, right?
Yep.
So that was kind of the beginnings of him starting at 2.2.
I'll never forget that because I want to say he spent like 40, 50 minutes on one of the wads. Everybody is done.
Yeah.
And he is just fucking plowing through it. And I'm like, Brandon, when I started, there's no way in God's creation I would have done what you did. There's no way
that was,
I would have done
he
that.
was really
That was
determined.
14.5, the thruster one.
Fuck that. I still hate thrusters.
It was awful. So it literally was the worst workout. And yes, anybody's the worst workout that's ever been done. And I got done with mine. I was injured, so it took a little bit longer. But I finished like 16 minutes or something like that. I go over to him, and he's literally doing 1 rep at a time. He's never done a thruster before.
Right.
This movement, and so this is completely new, and he's got to do like 75 of them mixed in with all these burpees. And all
I'm telling you, people complain about burpees. Thrusters are the coolest,
the worst movement.
Now,
the coolest
thrusters
creation
are
ever.
the ones where you have it like a high bar front squat,
You
right?
go all the way down.
Go all the way down, and as you come up,
You got to go up overhead.
The thing that fucks me with those is my wrists.
Wrist mobility.
The wrist mobility.
Has yours gotten better over time?
Yeah.
Wrist mobility. I gotta do something else.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Mine
I've been in so much.
mine
I've
are
been
just
in longer
so
than
tight.
you. And
I can like my fingertips are barely on it when I go down.
Yeah.
But then as I come up, I have to like pop the bar up a little bit to like transition my hands, and then I can.
Yep.
which
push.
takes away the momentum of the squat coming up, which is supposed to help you.
For sure. For
Right.
sure.
Yeah. So I remember going over to him, and he still talks about it to this day. He's like, I will never forget. He goes, I'm on the second set of that workout. He's like the round of 18. He still had like 70 more of these things to go. And I walked over to him, and Josh was helping him. I looked right at him as he's taking a break, and I go, don't worry. You got all day. There's no time limit. And he goes, I thought, what the fuck am I doing? Because he's just literally, it just registered to me that I had to do the entire workout. He's like, I couldn't stop because the clock just keeps running. And so, I mean, that's just it just goes to show
awesome, yeah.
the determination and the work ethic, and that he's willing to do whatever.
Really quickly on the whole CrossFit thing, I'm so intimidated about going in there. Like I went in there for a few times.
Which is
I
funny,
remember
dude.
coming
It's
in,
so
yeah.
funny that you're intimidated about that. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just saying that you're not an unfit guy.
No, I am now though. I am.
Okay, but before
unfit
that,
now.
you were.
The weird psychological thing for me with CrossFit is I'm so inspired and also a kick to my balls when I would go in there and I would see people like Brandon with this mental toughness that I'm just gonna fucking plow through this, and I'm so encouraged by that, watching that, like, oh man, good for you, dude. And then I would go to do it and I'd be like, fuck, this is tough.
And let's see, those are the hardest ones. The ones that don't have any time limit,
Yeah.
they really fuck with my head really bad. Because I some of them I'm just like, okay, I can do this for 8 minutes, or I can do this for even 15 minutes. But the ones where it's like this workload, and you're like, okay, whenever you get done,
It's like running a race when you don't know where the end is.
Yeah.
I mean, because
there you go, perfect example.
That fucking kills me.
Yeah.
You run the very first time you run a race, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
If it's a there and back race, you're like, fuck, cool.
I'm
at the
halfway.
end.
Yeah.
I'm heading back. I've already seen this.
Yeah.
And it's always quicker on the way back. You always feel like, boom, I'm back
Yeah.
in no time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think even though
It is
I'm
just
not,
like
I'm not the
that.
fittest person by any means because my diet's so terrible, but I mean, I know that because even with not eating well and going just 3 or 4 times a week, I just know that I have better balance. Like my core is better, so I don't have as many back issues if I do have a thing here or there. And the worst injury I ever had was Nick saying to me, "We're gonna go run sprints. Hey, do me a huge favor. Make sure you take your time. Take it easy. Make sure you're okay." I'm like, "Oh,
I got
sweet."
this.
Pop. Fuck. And I fell down. He's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, don't
Yeah,
talk
I'm a
to me.
dumbass.
God damn it. Don't talk to me."
You know what? You weren't really a dumbass. It was just things happen.
Shit happened. You're absolutely
Shit just
you're right,
happens.
but I just was like, Nick does a good. I mean, he's all about personal responsibility as well. But I was just like, he just told me to be wary of it. And here I was talking to Mark. Hey, what's going on, Mark? Worst.
But that's the thing. CrossFit is so intense when you're doing a movement. I mean, I haven't done it very much.
Right.
But I got a really good feel of what it's like.
I
But
love the
when you're
technical.
doing-
The technical aspect of it is a part I like too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the snatches are horrible, and I hate them. And Nick's always like, they're the hardest movement.
What's the snatch?
But it's when you drop it overhead,
Yeah. It's a wide grip.
wide grip,
Okay, so you're
floor
picking it up
and then
over the
catch
hand.
it.
And
and catching it.
yeah.
And he's
That's
always
a lot
he's
of-
always.
you got to open up your chest. Your shoulders got to
Yeah.
be
Oh, it's a
loose.
lot of shoulders.
It's a mobility thing
Yeah.
for me too. It's tough.
And it's hard. And he's always like, it's the toughest movement. So just work on the technical aspect of things. And so, I mean, when he started, I think people all walk in there very nervous and, I got to do that. Whereas if there are days when I've walked in there and maybe I'm a tad hungover from a Sunday night watching football and drinking beer or something else, and I'll be like, I think I'm just going to do the bar today. I'm not going to fucking push myself.
Still
If
gonna
I
get a workout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have booze pouring out my veins. I gotta get this stuff out of my system.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
both motivating and humbling.
Yeah.
When you're in there, like I was saying, Brandon was he really motivated me. And then I would look over and see comic book girl,
Oh, Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
And I would see Aaron or the older lady with the red hair,
Janine.
and they would just be so determined, and it would just humble me.
Mhm.
That to the point I haven't been humbled since I was like in high school.
Mhm.
Getting my ass kicked in the wrestling room,
Mhm.
and that was a really hard thing. It's a really hard thing for me to deal with, and also the idea that my schedule is such that the best I can do is maybe once or twice a week.
Mhm.
And to if I were to be able to be in there every morning,
Mhm.
maybe that would be different. I would
Right.
hope.
Right.
I'm hoping that would be different.
Well, hey, how much you paying for your new position you're hiring?
Yeah,
Maybe you can
right,
work with them.
yeah.
There you go. It's right down the street, dude. It's 1 mile away.
So I don't have to get up at 4 a.m. is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Nope. If you don't want
A
to.
little bit better
A
hours.
little bit better hours.
I'm gonna try.
Dan and Brandon. Dan's another employee of mine. He also does CrossFit. They are.
Oh, Dan's one of your employees.
yeah. So they're morning.
He's
people.
he's another fucking rock star. If I've talked about him on the podcast before and how different he is since we started and he started, Dan's another one. I remember him and his girlfriend starting.
Yeah.
And now he's literally like one of those CrossFit dudes that pulls his shirt off and you're like, what the fuck is going on over there? That's amazing. I mean, he's got all the pull-ups down, muscle-ups,
Yeah.
everything. It's just kind of awesome.
Is he doing the butterfly thing?
No, he's
butterfly?
Well, yeah, he can do the
Butterfly,
butterfly thing, but he can do bar muscle ups. He can do regular muscle ups in the ring. It's pretty impressive.
He's one of those young cats, though. So that's why.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like 24, 25 years old. That's a big difference, Eric.
Well, that's what your wife said to me when I talked
Yeah.
to her. And I was like, God, Brad's just fucking kicking my ass. I can't stand it. He's just doing so awesome. And she's like, well, you are 10 years older than he is. And I'm like, oh, I feel so much better now.
Right, yeah.
Thank you for
you.
giving me an out. Thank you for giving me
Great.
an
I'm
out.
going to go have some donuts. I'll be right back. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what you could do? You could have some sweet raw joy.
Oh, that's true.
You,
It
you
is
want-
good
do you- Are you
chocolate.
into chocolate? Do you like chocolate?
I'm not a sweets guy for some
You're
reason.
not.
Oh,
that's
well,
okay.
all right. Did you want some?
I'm good right now.
Because
You know,
I
if
just
that,
had
was
some
like, if that was like a
fudge
hamburger or something,
There
I'm
you
into
go.
meat.
and steak. and,
Chocolate.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Do
all
you
right.
hunt?
I used to hunt all the time, and that is one thing that I've had to really cut back on
Because of work?
Because of work, and obviously, we have the family farm out, like I talked about, outside of Des Moines back there. It's a little tough to make that time to get
sure.
back and go, and I don't have any place locally where I can.
And they have timber out there and everything? I mean, it's...
Yeah, so there's about 600 acres total of ground, and
Wow.
I would say about
Oh,
180 of it's in timber. The rest of it's all farm
Jesus.
ground.
And that's
so-
all your family farm?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah,
So we
that's
take the
really
kids
cool.
back and, we'll go mushroom hunting. I take them out, each year deer hunting. So we'll go sit in the blind and stuff like that. And
And how old
so,
are your kids?
The one just turned 7 and the one's 8.5. So Cameron and Cole. So something where I want them to be exposed to them. I want them to see it, do the fishing, do the hunting, and have the opportunity to like it. And, I always cringe when I see kids that, don't understand, conservation and
Where their meat's coming
wildlife.
from. and-
Exactly.
yeah.
They're like,
Well, that's a
"Ew,
whole. I mean, it's
ew,
life.
gross,
That's life.
it's blood. Well, where do you think that came from?
Well, and see, we've talked
Right.
about this on the podcast a lot. I'm this year I'm going to hunt for the first time, and I'm fucking nervous, bad.
Why?
But
Why are you so nervous?
I'm nervous about killing something.
What are you
I'm
hunting?
worried about gutting something, and that just sounds fucking gross. I know. I have a partial
now,
a
if you didn't
vagina.
know
I'm just
this
saying
about,
that.
No, buddy, I'm not
I'm-
going to make fun of you for once.
I
For
was gonna
once,
say,
I'm
this-
going to be a
just this right-
gentle giant. I'm going to be a very sweet person to you. Todd has always been somebody who, I mean, he was a vegetarian for a long, big portion of his life. And the idea of an animal being hurt, it just is almost like a physical pain to him.
Right.
There is a story of young Todd watching a man swerve to hit a raccoon and killed it.
Boy. Yep.
And young Todd lost his marbles that day, followed the guy, got out of his car, and you punched the fucking guy, didn't you?
I beat him up. Yeah,
I mean, he loves life.
Now listen,
he loves
if
life.
that kid had been out hunting raccoons and he shot a raccoon, he's going to eat the raccoon. That might have been a different story.
Right.
He was somebody being a real asshole.
I'm just thinking of your mindset.
And I happened
for
to
many,
bump
many
into
years.
him. I didn't follow him. He happened to end up in the same place I did. And then he was being a fucking asshole even more.
Right.
And it was referring to coons that he hit as well as coons as African Americans.
Yeah.
And then I lost my
snapped.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, it wasn't.
Admit it.
wasn't.
You were a little bit more upset about the furry raccoon.
No, it was the Yes, that bothered me, but it was the association of the two. And I thought, you know what? Nobody's ever checked this guy.
Right.
You got to check, motherfuckers, don't you?
We were talking about how some people just never get checked.
Right.
So they're always pricks.
And they don't even realize they're being assholes. It's a lot like employees that think
Right.
everybody does. Everybody thinks they're a good employee until you're like. I had a conversation with a lady one day. This was a few years ago, and I said, "Listen, yeah." Or she came in and she goes, "I can't believe our supervisor went on and on and on about how people don't rotate on time and how people are just, I do think that there are a few people that are terrible who rotate. They don't rotate on time and they walk real slow and then they'll go to the restroom and Lord knows they don't take 20 minutes to go to the restroom and then they'll get something from vending machines and then it just takes them forever." She's going on and I'm thinking, lady, you are who he was talking to. He was saying it in generalities so that you didn't feel like you were being picked on because we're so sweet in society today. But what he should have been saying was you and pointed right at you and said, "You are the one I'm talking to."
Right.
But that just solidified for me that everyone thinks that they're a good employee.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does. So
I always say, don't think you're a good employee until somebody says something to you. Hey, I appreciate the effort you're making, or hey, I appreciate what you did yesterday. Right. Then you can start taking some ownership in what you're accomplishing.
You know what? People don't hear that enough. I said this to a sweet older lady that works with me. She's like a motherly figure to me, and she carries a gun. Right? So I said, "Patty Cake."
That's what you call her?
Yeah, because her name's Pat.
Okay.
So I call her Patty Cake because I associate really sweet, wonderful things with
I
her.
feel like this goes back to that GILF thing.
I'm totally
kind of
agree.
creeped out a little bit.
Kind of grosses me out
She's a
too.
beautiful lady.
Okay.
Anyway, it shouldn't creep you out. Anyway, I said, I
You
just
fucking
want you to
grandmother
know.
creeps me out.
I said, I just want you to know when you're not at work, there's something missing here. And you bring a lot of enjoyment and smiles and positivity to my life when you're here. And she was just like, thank you.
You filled her bucket,
Like,
man.
I'm just saying, how many employees, how many people hear that on a day? How many genuinely good people hear that even once a month, let alone, even once a year?
Right.
Like, hey, you really, from another coworker, you really matter. When you are here, you really make my day brighter. You really make me laugh, or you're silly, or we get a lot of fucking stuff done, or hey, that outside grill that you helped me put together, oh, I fucking love that thing. I still talk about it because it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and it was perfect. And that was a lot to do with you being here. A lot of people would have a different paradigm of their job if they felt like or if they heard that.
Well, I think but there's some business mentality that's like that, though. Mm-hmm. I remember a boss telling me that no news is good news. Mm-hmm. If you don't hear anything from me, you know things are going okay. And then at the same time, you're being told you're not working hard enough and you're a piece of shit because you're not doing enough from the bosses that are above him. Right. And so I think that maybe it's it's hard to tell people they're doing a good job. If you're closely related, maybe do you find it? I mean, you guys are all friends. And so like you said, it's like a family. Do you ever have a hard time? I mean, you probably pump them up all the time.
I try to do a good job, and I'm just as guilty. Like you said, I'm guilty of that as well. You get in that groove, you get into, I get into the owner side of it where I'm like, I'm one track. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got these taxes due here. I need to order that, do this, and literally just this
task oriented.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I gotta get shit done. I got so many hours a day, so many hours a week. I gotta keep this place moving forward. Luckily, this about a year ago now, we brought in a new employee up here. Julie's her name, to help us out in the office and run things for us. And she had an HR background. And so she's really opened me up to a lot of. She worked with like Skywalk Group, Iowa Highway Equipment, some really good companies around here, and came recommended through a couple of friends I know. She's really opened me up to the fact that like I never did employee reviews. Like I've never been one to write.
Hey,
down,
come on in. I want to talk to you about your last 6 months.
I got your review written out here. This is what we want to work on. This is your objectives. This is it. I'm like, I didn't do that shit.
Right.
Like, why do I need to do that? But it's really opened me up to. I've started doing it this year because she's like, it's really good for the employees for this reason. It gives them the positives, but also gives them a goal to work towards, and people respond better to something that's on paper that they have. And it's really been the God's honest truth. It's made a huge difference, and it's made a difference for me because it allows me to lay out all the things that I am grateful for each employee, what they bring to the table, and which, you don't think about every day. You're like, oh, hey, Tim, you did a great job running those jobs out today, doing this, doing that. Thanks. But that's where it stops, and that means a little bit to them, I feel like, but it means a lot more when they see, literally I brought one in and I said, all right, hey, let's grab a beer out of the fridge. I got your review here. This is a 1 year review. I'm going to go over.
I really need to come work for you.
Hey,
we're going to go over 6 month reviews. Go ahead and grab some vodka, some beer.
The guy tells me, he goes, hey, I'm not going to lie. I got a little nervous when you told me to grab a beer for my review, though. I thought I was done. I'm like, no.
It's like 2.2.
Right.
Fridge is full of beer. At a gym? What are we doing here?
Wait a second. There's beer at the gym?
Oh,
God, yes.
beer and Fireball.
Not that
all the
not that
time.
you drink when you're working out by any means.
I'm
It's more
just
of
saying
like,
maybe I quit going there a little too
trust
early.
me. I guarantee you, when you shoot the video, there will be beer in the fridge at 2.2.
Right.
Well, that's and maybe I'll consume some afterwards. But what this is their idea, I believe. They haven't hammered down the finality of everything. One thing that we do know for sure is that they're going to be picking and talking to different members to do the movements, and then we're going to record those movements from the front and from the side, so that they can post those on their website, and then as they post a workout, they can link to those videos of current
Right now,
members.
they link to a different website.
Like a random YouTube video of somebody doing a squat.
okay.
It's like nobody from the gym. So
Right,
it'll
right.
just be some
So they're
person
going to be
you've never seen
highlighting people from the gym to do all the different movements that they're going to be having for different workouts. And so when you get ready to go in for the next day, you're like,
I remember when I first got started over there. I mean, I had no idea what these moves were. I had to click the little hyperlink, and I'd be the night before as soon as it came out. I'm sweating bullets, and what the hell is that?
and you had a huge transformation from what I remember. Like
Fuck yes.
I remember interviewing you for CrossFit's little commercial.
Nothing never put on the website.
Yeah.
That's okay. But you were a little bit overweight,
Just a little
correct?
bit.
60, right?
Yeah, 60 plus. So.
And how much? I mean, you weren't 300 pounds.
No. So when I started, I tried to start in, what would it be? Is this 2 years for me, maybe?
I think so.
I think it's 2 years this year. I'll be there in July. So that year that I started, I tried to start in April and literally could not make it through the foundation, the free workout.
You did wall balls, right? And that throw your shoulder out. What were you doing that hurt your shoulder?
I think it was actually burpees.
Oh, was it?
Like,
That hurt your shoulder?
Literally, like, partially tore my shoulder doing a burpee because I was so heavy and out of shape, and yet I thought that I was able to do everything.
And you were motivated because your brother was doing CrossFit in Des Moines, and you guys could talk about workouts, right?
He started getting me into it, and I started looking into it. My sister-in-law and my brother were doing it down there. Had been in it for about 9 months at that time, and really just had drank the Kool-Aid and loved it. They're all about it all the time, and I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, how many blocks have you eaten?
Yeah.
How many, did you get all your blocks of protein? Jesus.
I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? What are we doing? This is what family gatherings are now, is how many burpees you did this week, And so yeah, it's. I went from at that time I was about 277, and I got down to my lightest last fall. I was down to 208 during competitions. And
wow,
then,
good for you, man.
yeah, so and I loved it. I'm back up a little bit now. I've been doing this powerlifting thing for a while now because I got a little shoulder impingement, we'll call it, from me thinking I'm young and throwing a baseball as hard as I can. So, but so I've been really into the deadlifting and the squats and that sort of stuff, and basically all leg movements.
So your wife just grabs your ass. She just loves it.
No, she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" She literally I don't know how many times you gotta listen to your body.
Oh God, shut
My body
up.
fucking hates me. I got news for you. It thinks it's older than it is, so we don't listen to that.
But
The only
there's
bad thing about CrossFit is like I went to get like jeans,
Oh god.
and then you're just like, and all of a sudden you're just like,
Well, that doesn't.
I've been
work,
working
right?
out. I've been working out for like you probably my whole life, sports, and you grew up working out. Did you drink that entire cooler by yourself?
Hey, listen. No. I gave you a glass.
Yeah, we each
I
had a
gave
glass.
Brad a glass, and then
and
I
you had
finished
4
it.
of your glasses yourself. That's a 6-pint holder.
They must not have put 6 pints in there.
Or you
'Cause I
sucked it
only
down
had
so
one of
fast you
these.
can't even keep
Well,
track
you
of that
forgot
shit.
the 2 pints he poured on the floor.
Oh,
You forgot
I did miss
That's
that.
the beginning.
well done, my friend. Nice job.
I
But
don't like to
then
be teamed
my
up
wife
on.
and I were shopping, and all of a sudden I'm trying on jeans, and the waist is loose. I can't get it over my ass and my thighs,
Yeah.
or it's uncomfortable, you know. And I'm like, that's odd to be 40 plus years old and you're still changing your body. It's just that's the good
I
thing
about
about
went
CrossFit,
broke
though.
buying new clothes through the whole process. I'm like every 2 months I was getting new jeans, and then last year I'm like down. I'm like, God, I'm like a tight 32 or a nice 33-inch waist, and I'm like, that's awesome. Now I'm like, I can't even fit my thighs into a 33 anymore.
You want some help? You want me to point you in the right direction?
Right, yeah.
Go to Trunk Club.
There you go. I've
TrunkClub.com.
been seeing that.
Now, I did
Oh,
try
come on.
this. I did try this.
Okay.
But
That-
you got it.
I got in contact with Trunk Club, tried out their program, how it all works. I didn't lose any fucking money for
Right.
people that are nervous about Trunk Club. I had a stylist that called me.
I'm out
Now-
already.
no.
I can't do stylists.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help
Alright.
you get over this. Basically, she just said, so what are you into? How old are you? What are you into? What are your sizes? What would you like from me as a stylist? Because she's the one that's going to go shopping for you, right? And I said, I really don't like it when I sit down and my balls hurt.
She's like, well, that's not the first time I've heard that. Is that what she said?
She actually did say that
Yeah.
because my stylist said that she had some
My stylist, you
yeah,
keep saying that.
I love
Nice.
it. She had a lot of MMA. She had a few MMA customers,
Right.
right? So they had really big thighs, smaller waists, plump butts type of thing. And so she sent me a box, this huge box of clothing. Now, what Trunk Club does is they put together, you tell them what you kind of want,
An ensemble.
an ensemble, but they sent me a lot of shit. I mean, like 5 pairs of pants, 4 or 5 shirts.
Shoes too, right?
No, she
No.
didn't send me shoes because I told her don't send me fucking shoes. I got shoes. Socks. I don't know. Anyway, so this big box comes. I open it up, and the very first pair of pants I put on, I'm like, fucking oh. Like the angels came out, it got brighter, there was a rainbow, maybe a double rainbow. I was so fucking happy. These pants were like stretchy pants.
Okay.
Right? They look like normal, regular jeans,
Right.
right? And they didn't like hug me super tight,
They weren't like the sweatpants that look
No.
like jeans.
Or the,
Right,
or
no,
the
no,
pajama,
no.
pajama pants.
and
with
they
that
didn't
jeans?
look like jeggings.
Oh,
They didn't
right.
look like that. They
Oh,
looked like
God,
a
I
normal
fucking
pair
hate
of
those
jeans,
things.
but it was elasticy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I sat down. I'm like doing squats. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm moving around. My wife's like, Jesus Christ, do you really think that you're going to be doing that in a normal pair of jeans? Ever? Do you ever think that we're going to go out on the town and you're going to fucking sit down like this on a stool? I'm like, no, but I want to move. I want to put myself in every position I could think of because I can't normally do this ever with
In
any
regular
other pair of
jeans.
clothing that I have. So I will say this: huge kudos to Trunk Club.
Do you know what kind of
and the
jeans they were?
stylist. No, but I do know the price tag, and that's why I sent everything back.
So how much was a pair of jeans?
It was $225 for a pair of jeans. It might even have been.
For one pair of jeans.
For one pair of jeans, it was like $225 or $265. The cheapest thing was the socks.
And they're probably $20 a pair.
No, that was $15 for one pair of socks. But everything else was super expensive. But here's the thing: if you are somebody that never feels comfortable in their clothing, fuck it. Fuck it. Buy one pair of jeans. Now, you know what? She sent me that stuff. I tried it all on. Walked around like a runaway model in front of my wife. So how do you like it? You know, shove my ass at her. Does that look all right? You know? She goes, I loved all the outfits. I loved them all. The shirts are kind of dated, make you look old. I'm like, fuck it, I am old. But they were just too expensive for me, so I sent them all back. But when I save up enough money, I will be getting those fucking jeans because they were the most comfortable jeans I've had. Because I did powerlifting for a while. I'm a lot smaller than I used to be, but my thighs are bigger, and you know, it was like pants don't fit right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of guys. And
imagine being a woman. Imagine being some of those CrossFit women.
Oh,
I don't know how they do it.
just
They must have, everything's got to be probably tailored.
I just love looking at them. God,
You know, that doesn't do it for me. That doesn't do it for me at
CrossFit
all.
lady. You know what? I like a lady who is strong. And I like a lady who has I don't know, it's stupid. I like a lady that's got mobility. I like a lady that's not, she's not worried about going in and just fucking sweating and looking like shit and like, fuck yeah, I just wrecked that workout. I'm like, yeah.
See, Christmas
that
Abbott.
close
Christmas
to-
Abbott to me. Now she's attractive, but she's not like
yeah.
Camille. Camille is
Right.
like a little fucking brick shit house, and I'm like, her head is perfect. Her face is beautiful, but from her neck down, it's like
You're intimidated to shit.
a little dude. Yeah.
Is that it though? Is it the fact that
No.
you're intimidated that you're not?
No, I can
Put yourself in a sexual-
I like
what I like to
breasts,
do is
I
I-
like asses, and if you
Yeah.
don't have any fat on your body, you don't have those things necessarily. You
All
know,
right.
and it doesn't look manly to me.
Hey,
It looks.
I'm intimidated by her. I don't know about him. She's intimidated.
Oh, she's intimidating
and
and shit, but I would also
Yeah.
say I don't find her attractive physically because of the way she's built. But that's just me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ladies. All right, I won't go any further.
What are
But
we gonna say?
no, I'm just saying, God bless the ladies that do CrossFit. I think that it's great. I think it's super challenging. They have more. I shouldn't say balls, but they have more drive than I do. They are able to get over their ego. Like I used to be in excellent health or shape. Worked out all the time. We did personal training together. And
Many moons ago.
I would always be surprised when somebody's like, "No, I'm just too nervous to get into a gym. I don't want to go into a gym. I'm just too self-conscious." I've now reached that spot in my life
Well,
where I'm not horribly out of shape. I'm not like disgustingly out of shape,
right, you don't look that bad.
but I'm not anywhere where I used to be.
Right.
And so when I go to do a movement, I still have in my mind the weight and the feeling of how I used to be.
What it used to be, yeah.
And then I go to do something, I'm like, I was just on an incline bench doing incline presses and I'm exhausted. I should go home. And it was my first movement of the fucking workout when I went to my local gym, you know? So I'm just really
but you
inspired
are
when I see
signing
those
up with me.
ladies.
You are signing up for me. June, we're going to do the CrossFit workout at 2.2.
There you go.
We're in, buddy. We're in. You
All
have
right.
you have 2
I've
months.
made a commitment to you. I have my bumper plates. I don't know if you noticed this out there.
I didn't see that yet. No.
I bought a really shitty bar from Play Against Sports.
I'm actually going to buy a nice bar. I'm going to get a nice Rogue bar. I hate putting stuff on a bar and you go to do a curl or you go to do a movement and you hear.
Well, that's the
And
worst
it's
part.
like-
that bar, it sticks. And if you and I didn't
It's
think anything of it
fucking
until
gross.
Nick talked about having that spinning bar, how much
Right.
easier it is to drop in underneath things and stuff
Right.
like that. So.
Yeah, it's just kind of gross.
So you get to work out. You're going to start working out, and we're going to do that competition together. It'll be fun.
I see.
It's exciting stuff.
See?
I'm happy.
Are you going to do it?
All depends on where I'm at with my shoulder.
I'm
but
so happy for you.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, the
That's
shoulder.
true. That's true.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
you know
The
what?
shoulder.
I would be all about it. I've got several of them that I planned on doing this summer.
I was going to say, you've done quite a few as well. So.
yeah, I did like 6 last year, I think, something like that. So
I did not like.
Really?
You're talking about the mental,
Good for you,
the
man.
mental
Good for
toughness
you.
yeah,
is a big thing for me. That's the biggest flaw that I have found besides my eating habits is, or for CrossFit, is the I do not have that mental drive.
Yeah.
When I'm done, fucking I'm done. Like I can feel myself. I have caught myself like shorting reps, right? And I'm just like, it was at 18 or 19, and I can fuck myself and say, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I was 20." Yeah, totally, totally, because I don't have that mental. That's what I think kind of defines like the really great CrossFitters, even in a home gym like 2.2, with like people who are just kind of in the gym
Instead of going, well, is it 18 or 19? Fuck it, it's 16.
Right. Yeah. Or I'm gonna make it through this. I'll push myself. You know, they talk about people throwing up and stuff like that. I've never pushed myself to throwing up ever at a CrossFit gym, and that's kind of a normal thing, supposedly.
I'm just saying, maybe you should throw up more.
Such a weird comment. God, so weird.
You know what? Sometimes I just laugh at the fact that I pull out such a dick card. Try Trunk Club. Go to trunkclub.com. And I would honestly, I'd recommend it to anybody, because I think we fall into these norms of, I'm just going to go to this store, or I'm just going to go to that store, and I'm going to try it on, and fuck it. I
hate shopping.
I guess I'm just stuck with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it.
So you don't
and
even
it's still hard to
realize,
find shit,
realize how comfortable you could be until you try something else. And that's kind of nice. You have somebody else buying you
You know,
stuff.
a great place to go to is Duluth Trading Company. They have great.
They got the diamond gusset for
They
your
have the
ball
gusset.
area.
No way.
Because
They do.
they do.
do
They have a
have-
diamond. Because I mean, I have taken 5 pairs of jeans now.
What is in this cooler, by the way?
Ooh, spotted cow. Can I have one of those?
For sure.
That sounds glorious.
I had a little work trip to Wisconsin, so I picked up the old spotted cow.
Wow.
It's
This is
great
it, huh?
beer, dude.
Go ahead, hand that over.
So good. Is that like a fraternity trick?
It's a
Can
wed-
I
it's
give
a
me?
wedding
Can I,
ring
can,
trick.
oh, here, give me that. I want to try something.
Do it on your teeth. I want to see you break a molar.
Oh, I'm not. That's stupid.
Wait a second. Are you doing it with your ring?
Ooh, I almost got it.
You're going the wrong way. You gotta go forward. Pry forward.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Are you shitting me?
Forget the reef.
This has been
Forget
a
the-
waste of time up until this moment.
That's why they gave you these.
Forget the reef.
I like your mentality.
No
we
more-
should hang out more.
No more reef flip flops with the bottle opener. I got
right.
this on me all the time.
Dude. Another reason to get hit.
That was.
For sure.
That's one of the best things that ever happened to me on this podcast.
You know what? You can't do that with the silicone. The silicone.
No.
Is Nick wearing a black one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The black silicone ones.
Yeah.
Nick the
Trainer.
Trainer?
Yeah.
I didn't think that he was.
No, on his other hand. Not this hand. This hand. That relationship's long over.
Yeah.
But why does he wear a ring?
Probably because somebody gave it to him. He's still wearing it. Yeah.
All right. Whatever. I'm not judging. We might need you to consult us.
Okay.
Because people live in Iowa. People who might listen to this, we actually have listeners around the world. It fucking freaks me out. I can't believe that we do.
Right. Okay.
12 people in Tokyo. We're big in the UK.
Oh, love you guys in Tokyo. But Iowa, it's pretty seasonal.
Right.
It's really fucking cold. We get a lot of snow. How do you guys pull off outdoor kitchens in Iowa?
You mean as far as selling them or getting
yeah,
the use out of
I'm
them?
just saying, like, how can you convince people? Like, I would just think, well, there's no fucking way. Like, I would watch HGTV,
Mhm.
and somebody would have an outdoor kitchen. I'd be like, well, that can't fucking happen in Iowa,
Right.
but it can.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, you saw that one in Minnesota. That really cool like overhang thing with the fireplace.
Yeah.
That was in Minnesota.
I'm trying to
and they
look
have
at
worse winters than we do for sure.
Yeah, there's probably a few on there.
That's beautiful, by the way, right here.
yeah,
This
isn't that
one.
cool?
I might have to
Oh,
talk to you about my outdoor area because
Yeah, I mean, so I did one 5 years ago at my place. We put in an outdoor fireplace, like freestanding outdoor fireplace, and it's a gas log set though. We didn't do the real wood thing. Just with our lifestyle and with the kids, we like to be able to go out,
ease of cleaning and
Hell
dealing
yeah.
with it.
light a fire, have a cocktail, have a beer, do s'mores, do whatever, and turn it off and go inside.
there
Okay.
you go.
You know, and my wife's not.
I think I saw that, didn't I?
Probably.
Yeah, and I was like, "This is really great." You're like, "Yeah, I built this." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is right. This is awesome."
Yeah. So we
Just like that too, really high.
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much like it. So we had that, and then we did like a curved grill island thing with the grill and stuff like that. And then the thing is, like, if you buy, I mean, obviously everybody has a budget, but I mean, if you buy a quality grill, like a good grill, I mean, it's made for sitting outside. Like mine sits in a snowdrift a couple months out of the year. I don't put a cover on it. I don't do anything to it, but it's a nice grill. And at any point in time, I can walk out, light it up, and grill a steak. Like there's just nothing to it. And I grill year round.
That's
like
awesome.
literally, I'll walk out, shovel the snow off during the winter, and grill, and it'll be 0 degrees outside.
That's sick.
Just because I like to do that.
Do you do both ways? Do you deal with like the natural gas also?
Yep. Natural gas.
So when you build them,
propane, smoke.
it's all that.
I have a great story. I have my father-in-law had
be
a
the
friend
judge of
who had a gas piped-in gas grill, and towards the end of the fall, he got done grilling. Snow was going to be happening, so turned the grill on high to 400 degrees to burn everything off the grill, and then forgot all about it. And about 2 months into the winter, he looked outside and thought, everything is melted around 2 feet around the grill. There's no snow on the grill, and everything.
It was still burning.
He was still running propane.
Oh, because it was natural gas.
He had it piped in. So that whole time he was burning 400 degrees through his grill the whole time into the winter. He's like, why is the grill clean? Why is there a 5-foot gap around the whole grill?
Why have you not used your grill in that amount of time?
Well, he was done because of the winter, and so he was heating
He was
it up,
trying to burn off all the grease.
grease, and then forgot.
Yep.
Can you imagine that gas bill?
No way.
Honey, why is this so
Nuts.
high?
No.
Are you taking too many baths? God damn it. Yeah. Think what I like about
What?
good grill. I think it's like anything though. If you buy a really good, high quality grill, you're going to use it more often. What's that? Oh, Aussie grills. Have you seen those? They're supposed to be a very high end grill. Well, I found one for sale used on the side of the road.
What?
And I used it for like 3 years, and it was in okay shape.
All right, I'm going to pull this up. Aussie?
AUSSIE grills.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's just a normal grill.
Yeah. Oh, it's nothing fancy, but $200 grill. Some people are like,
Okay.
Oh, well, look at that one. That's pretty nice. I would like to. Well, we'll ask Brad when he gets back in here, but I want to.
So if you just bought this stainless steel,
right, that can sit down
sits
into a shelf kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So you know what we should have done when I built that retaining wall that you helped me build in my backyard?
Yeah.
We should have built a little spot for a grill. Just sit it right into it.
I think you still easily
just pop off one of those top stones and just drop it in.
Yeah. I think you could, but then again, I'm not the guy to ask.
Neither
Brad
am I.
would
Jesus, yeah,
definitely
for sure.
be the guy to
I have no
ask.
idea.
For sure.
But I think it's awesome that people are trying to utilize their outdoor space. You know what I mean? And if you can find an outdoor space that's got an oven like situation, so you can roast marshmallows, like Brad was saying, and then on top of it is a fucking oven for making pizzas and chickens, and then next to it is your grill and your kitchen, your outdoor kitchen area.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I would use it more often if I knew I could do those things. You know what I mean? I would grill outside if I had a nice outdoor kitchen. What's so bad about shoveling a path to it when you have a grill and a tabletop and you can make things work? And I can easily see it.
right.
The easier it is,
Check out this picture here. How cool would that be if that was the backdrop of the podcast room?
Yeah, I agree. That's probably a pretty cheap, backdrop, I imagine.
A very cheap backdrop.
Very inexpensive.
I'm saying in our studio when we built the studio.
But even Joe Rogan talks about, I think his brick wall behind him is like a faux brick that he just.
It's real brick, but it's not like a solid, like full size, normal size.
I think it's just those.
It's like hollowed out. It's only like the shell of a brick,
or it's the front of a brick,
right?
Kind of thing. Well, that's what we can ask Brad about. I wonder. I remember seeing like the stuff we see at Menards, like the stone that you can like use in the front of your house. It's like it's a cement that's been dyed the colors of like river stone or whatever the fuck you want on your house.
Yeah. That's faux brick.
Is that faux brick? And so I mean, I wonder if he utilizes more like is it really natural stone or is different product? I mean, so the good expensive stuff is the stuff that's fucking legit, serious, that's from Riverstone, like a real Riverstone, or some companies just make, fake stuff, but it's really good. And so that's better because it'll last longer. It's cement, kind of thing. So, I mean, I'd be curious to see how the trends are going. But it seems like these stone walls are becoming kind of like their own kind of like art statement.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
an accent wall.
It's an accent
It's
wall.
definitely
That's
an
kind
accent
of
wall.
is that those vertical stones with those light shelves on it with his showroom in Urbandale. Holy shit, dude, that's pretty amazing.
You know, and if you're a gutsy DIYer, if you're somebody who has done so, I put the stuff on my stone fireplace.
Don't you think you're right? You did that. That tile work for sure. I am getting to that point in my life where I'm like, if I can,
but that's tile work, not necessarily stone.
Right, but
work.
if I could save some money and do it myself, but there's a 75-25 in benefit of me that I might fuck it up. I might just pay the money and say, hey, can you get somebody who's good out here? It'll take them half the fucking time to do it. It'll look better because they know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
That stuff gets done. You know, that's the tough thing that you have to decide. Like a lot of people have at the beginning of a project, they have all this drive and desire, and they're like, fuck yeah, I'm really excited about this project. I can totally do it. I'll get the stone or I'll get the wood and I can totally build this. And then they get a couple weeks into it. And they're like, I had this idea and I know what it was supposed to look like. And this is not looking like I'm what I'm supposed to. You know, there are times where you have to understand your limits. And, you know, going to Iowa Stone Supply and saying, okay, I really dig that vertical stone look. I have a wall in my house. Here's a picture of it. These are the dimensions. You come in with numbers. Mm-hmm. How much would it cost and how long would it take for somebody to come in and do it? Because I love the whole shelf with the accent lights. I want that same fucking look in my house. And here's exactly the numbers. That to me, again, when you know your strengths and your weaknesses, here's the cash. Right. I'm so much more willing to hand over the money, the extra money, to know that it's going to get done.
Yeah.
One, quickly. Two, you know, your mind is just like, it's totally done right. I don't have to worry about it. I didn't do it myself. I mean, there's things that I've done.
Oh yeah.
I finished this basement.
Mm-hmm.
We did
the sheetrock.
We did,
and then he called it a mudder, and they mudded it for you, right?
Right. Because you know,
why not get the big labor?
It took like a couple of hours versus a couple of days. For
now you could have a professional put in the sheetrock, put on the sheetrock, and then you try to mud it, and it looks like shit.
Right.
You see every fucking seam, or you could lay the sheetrock. It looks like shit. You pay a professional to come in and mud it, and it looks beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
You could never have done that. I mean, understanding what you can and cannot do, and just biting the fucking bullet, and then having that sense or that security in your mind that it's done right. It's done right.
How good is that spotted cow?
It's
fucking fantastic, dude. Yeah. I was gonna say that. So I redid the bathroom in my house. And my wife still teases me because I was like, oh, it'll take a couple weekends. And it was like 2 months, right? And what I didn't know is that my house is built in 46. And so it's all plaster. It has that metal mesh, you know? And so we're going to do the bathroom again. And so actually, I shouldn't say that. We're going to replace like the sink. I was at IKEA with this knucklehead, and I found a sink and some stuff. I thought, well, this would
imagine how that was.
Yeah. with 5 kids running around. Right. Fucking get over here. God damn it. I want to look at this shelf. And
stay right there. Stay right here.
Oh my God, a room full of beds. Let's all go jump on them. Woo!
Yeah. Uncle Todd and I have to talk for just a second.
So we were looking at sinks, and then we're talking about. So we're like, well, you know, we'll redo our bathroom so it's a little bit nicer. And so the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm thinking. And she goes, what? And I go, how about I just take this bathroom down to the 2x4s? Let's just, I mean, why put a new sink against a fucked up wall? I did okay, but it's not that well done. So why don't I just go down like ceiling and walls to the 2x4s, all plaster, all lath off, everything. And then I can put up insulation and just sheetrock it. Have somebody come in and mud it, and at least you have a nice clean slate to work off.
It's almost easier when you take things down to the studs.
Right.
Because I've done enough remodeling. I've helped my father build enough houses as a kid that when you're trying to work over stuff and you're trying like, oh, geez, I don't really want to fuck that up. No, just decide from the get-go, I'm gutting this fucking room. and I'm going to spend half a day, and I'm going to take it down to the 2x4, the studs, and I'm like,
And what's sheetrock?
Easy.
That's really what you
Done.
come down to. It's almost cheaper. Instead of if I had done it the
Dealing
first
with
time, I wouldn't have
plaster
to do it
and
the second. If
all
I
that
had done it
stuff.
the first time that way, I wouldn't be redoing it. I could change out appliances. I can get a new sink or get a new toilet or something like that. That would be an easy fix. But if I had done it the right way the first time, I got in there and realized very quickly I was over my head. And I thought, oh, fuck, how can I patch this back together so I can use it?
how can I step away from this?
Well, and I bought the house. The house had a hole in the back of the shower when I bought it. That wall went to the outside, so there was like you could almost feel the cold coming in. So I was trying to get a quick fix, anyways. But if I had done that in the very beginning, I would probably have saved myself time, as well as all this other shit.
Or if you would have just hired a contractor and they come in, you don't even look, like they mask it off. You don't even look at that room, and then they're done. And you're like, well, holy shit, it looks great.
Well, I remember screwing in something, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm glad this only took 2 weekends." And I'm like, going, "That's a perfect timing. Thank you for that.
Perfect time to
put
say,
shit together."
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, lady.
Now for some reference, same lady. In a previous house that Captain Jackass and I shared, I thought, you know what? There's no cable. There's no cable going up to the second story, the second part where I live in my house. So I'm going to cut a hole in this room upstairs, and I'm going to cut a hole downstairs underneath the stairs so that I can kind of fish this cable up through. And I'm fucking sweating. I'm sweating. It's a terrible day. I'm frustrated. And this is one of the first times I'd met her. and this image of her and Todd walking in to the house one night,
we're sitting on the couch,
probably to have sex in my bed because you like to do that.
It
For whatever reason.
It was
I don't know if
only the first time.
I don't
It
know
was
if my
only
bed
the
is more
first time.
comfortable than his or if he needed to clean his sheets. I don't know what happened.
We were watching a movie. Sorry.
But they walk in and I've been working like a dog, you know?
A lot that day. That
That
whole
day,
day.
I was like fucking task oriented. I had a lot of things I wanted to
it
get
was
done.
not working.
Trying to improve the house, and I was really struggling. Because, you know, it's like anything. If you're doing something by yourself, you're like, fuck, I'm trying to pick up a 2x4. If I just had another set of hands over there, I'm trying to fish this shit through the 2x4 stud wall. If I just had one more person, she walks in and she just starts laughing. Laughing.
You had bashed the shit out of the wall with a hammer.
I had put. Well, what am I supposed to use? My fist?
I didn't.
Am I supposed to use a screwdriver
It was
to put a hole in the wall?
It was destroyed. You destroyed the wall.
There was a hole in the wall.
It reminds me. Have you seen that YouTube video going around this week of the guy trying to fix the screen door?
No,
Oh my god!
no, but I really want to.
It was on Facebook. He's like trying to fix a screen door going to the outside, and he just goes off. Like after like a minute of working, he's just like smashing it on the deck and stomping on it. I'm like, that's totally it.
Well, I love that YouTube video from way back in the day where that guy's on the computer. He's like, he's hitting the keyboard, and he picks it up and slams
Is it this?
Yeah,
Is it the top one
Man
here?
versus screen door. Yeah,
All right.
Man versus.
All right, let's check this out.
that's great.
Oh, she's fucking filming him. No wonder he's pissed.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know that she's filming him either.
What happened? She's right here.
Yeah, that looks a lot like me at times.
Nice grill though. Fuck.
Oh my god, that was great. Can we watch it again?
Just fucking.
Yeah, zip down to the end. Just zip down to the halfway through.
No, you gotta see how it's culminates.
Everybody's been there. Everybody's been
Yeah,
there.
fuck yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Instead of taking the door out,
Right.
completely out, and like maybe WD-4ing with the wheels.
Fuck you, door. Fuck it.
The hell?
That is awesome. Got the southern accent on there as well.
That's
Well,
part
the
of the
only-
charm. The southern accent. If it was the fucking our best friend Will, my what is it?
Man crush.
My bromance.
Bromance.
Bromance
for
with
sure.
Will. If Will would have been doing it with his Aussie accent, everybody would be like, I fucking love this guy. Crush some more.
I think the only time I ever got frustrated, he helped me build a retaining wall.
Oh yeah.
And I was rubber malleting the first stones to get them level, and I went all of my strength, whap on my thumb, and it hurt. It hurt so bad.
Have you ever been there?
Oh god.
It hurt so bad. And see, I'm a pussy with some of this stuff because I never got injured very much doing sports. I was very lucky. My worst injuries were a high ankle sprain playing volleyball as an adult, and I screamed like a bitch when that happened. And then when I pulled my hamstring, that was the second one. But this one, it hurt so bad because I was like, bap, 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 bap. And I remember sitting there and my chest hurt and tears were in my eyes. And he was going, are you okay? And I couldn't speak because I thought if I did, I'd be like, ah, some high pitched
I have a
screech.
form of angina right now. I don't know why, but I have a form of angina. You did not have a high ankle sprain. You had a bit of angina. I don't know why I like saying that like that. Like almost like Gilbert Godfrey, but a little bit less intense.
It's way more
It's the
effective.
face.
Yeah.
It's the face.
That was great.
It's
That
the
was,
face.
I needed that. That was
Oh.
perfect. But I mean, I can see how people can get seriously frustrated with some of that stuff. I mean, I think that's why you do it yourselfers. I like the idea, and if it's reasonable to try,
Yeah.
I think it's good. But I would much rather at this point.
You want to put
give
in
it
a
to
fucking ceiling
professional.
fan? Go ahead, DIY it.
Oh, I get it. So, one more story real quick here.
Go for it.
So, best home do-it-yourself. So, my wife and I just got married. We bought a house in Marion. And all of a sudden, the chimney starts leaking, going to the fireplace. I'm like, fuck, I got water spots on the ceiling. I'm going to fix this. So, I call Brandon that works for me. I'm like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Let's fix my chimney. It's middle of summer. It's August. 100 and some degrees outside. So, we're up on top of this. It's one of those like 4-level split houses. We tear off all the siding around this chimney chase, and we see, they built a little cricket thing behind that diverts the water off, the wrong way. So I'm like, we got to rebuild that. I need to reshingle this little area. And I said, but we didn't have what we needed. So, and my wife wasn't home yet, but we had the ladder set up and everything, stuff on the ground. I hate heights. I mean,
Really?
I hate heights.
Oh, wow.
Like, unless it's like secure stuff, like he's like, hey, just go around the backside of that chimney there. And it's like 8 inches of space. I'm like, you've lost your mind. I'm not,
I'm not going back there.
No way. Not a chance. But anyway, so we're like, let's go to Menards. Let's grab something and we'll come right back. So meanwhile, we go to Menards. We come back and I look around. I'm like, the fucking neighbor's up on my roof. I'm like, what is going on? And I peek around back and my wife's back there and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, why is he on the roof of our house? And she's like, oh my God, I thought you were still up there and I was yelling your name. I thought you had passed out on the roof because of the heat. And I'm like, what? Like this poor guy, he's like 80 years old, the next door neighbor, and she's got him climbing up on the roof to go find me.
Brad?
Hello, Brad.
Brad!
Bradley. Are you up here, Brad?
Bradley J! Bradley J!
But the best part was we like watched from behind just to see what the hell they were doing before I actually said that I was there. I'm like, what is going on here at my house? And Brandon's like, oh, dude, I'm out of here. He's like, this is not going to end well. I'm like,
You're not going to find any lemonade up there.
No, there's nothing up there.
No
buddy.
lemonade up there.
Oh.
All right. Hey, I wanted to ask you really quickly because I drive by this spot every day that I work.
Okay.
Right. There's a spot on Edgewood and O Avenue
Okay.
where there's a huge retaining wall.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
they built that extension back out.
Right.
Right.
Now, I have this idea, probably from watching, who were we talking about earlier? Mike, somebody do
Mike
it
Rowe?
right.
Mike Rowe.
No, it wasn't Mike Rowe. It was the construction guy, the Canadian construction
Homes
guy.
and Homes?
Homes and Homes, Mike Holmes. Where he had done like a retaining wall, but he was using huge boulders.
Mhm.
And he had made the statement or the comment, and maybe you can clarify for me. He said, if you're not using something really sturdy, that retaining wall is going to fail every time. It might not fail today or next year, but eventually that earth is gonna win unless you tie it in properly.
Right.
So is that area, is that property? I mean, every time I drive by it, I think
Well,
it's just a matter of
It's a big
time
ass wall.
before those
it's a huge wall.
because I look at there's a Target right over here with a huge ass retaining wall
Mhm.
behind it, and that's already leaning, and blocks have fallen.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's
I mean,
it is
it's
a big hill.
fucking 30 feet.
It's
It's
to say
30
as tall
feet
as
of
the
retaining
store,
wall.
right? Yeah.
How is that even?
Should you build there?
Well, I guess my question is that even a realistic idea of what that product can do?
So here's the thing: we don't get a lot into like the retaining wall side of it.
Okay.
We try to stay out of that side because there's a lot of big box stores and that sort of thing. There's not a lot of room on that. Everybody's got it bare bones pricing. I used to do landscaping, so I do know that side of it. We used to do a lot of out of timbers and stuff like that. And you put like dead man, so they call them, back out of it. So it's actually logs going back into the wall to help tie it back in there.
Okay.
So the earth's actually prying back on the wall. The thought process is with the man-made products like you're seeing over there is there's a lot less chance of failure from the standpoint they're interlocking. So they're actually set up to hold back. Now, like our showroom, we sell like these huge, like massive, I'm talking like 14-foot long pieces of stone that are just irregular shaped, and they're called outcroppings. So they're literally just natural earth-made stones that we pull out of the ground from these different quarries all over and stack them out, and they use like a crane or a big machine to set them into place.
Wow.
And there is a risk of that, but that's why you don't use them 30 feet tall. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 feet tall,
Right.
something like that. But usually when you get in those taller ones, they terrace them back for that reason. So that way it's not like one massive failure.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Is
Like,
the one behind Target terraced at all, or is it just one big wall?
No, the one behind Target is easily 20 feet tall.
That one on O is enormous.
Yeah, and
Have you seen
that house has nowhere to go. I mean, that house, it has a little bit of lawn before it hits the retaining wall block, but from the retaining wall block, it's like street.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
I would hate to be. I mean, I every time I drive by it, I'm just expecting there to be one less brick, one less
Right.
block. up
Well, you
there,
would think
know?
that if you get enough water saturating that area, or you get enough pushback, because there's a wall on
Yeah.
First Avenue between Cottage Grove and Brucemore. There's a high rise,
Yeah. Where they-
Iowa wise, with that humongous wall, but it's almost like a paved wall. I know.
So it's actually poured concrete wall.
Is it really?
And they put a stone facing on it.
Okay.
So we actually sold the product that went on the face of it, but it's actually poured solid 12-inch thick with
Okay.
steel reinforcing.
Oh, really?
And then they put a
I was just really
like a
sure-
fascia.
That was probably a good gig for you guys.
False.
Yeah,
How nice is that?
So you don't just do solid stone; you also do.
No, honestly, the majority of our business anymore is going to be a thin product, so like a thin stone or a cultured stone,
All right.
versus the full
Right.
bed product.
I was thinking, I mean, I've been to Menards. I just like walking around.
Who hasn't,
I love walking
right?
around Menards. But I remember when I was going to DIY this shit, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Stone, with the guy was showing me how they have these, like, the stone has like corner pieces, so because it's like river stone, right? And then you have a corner piece. And I remember looking at it, and he was telling me how you put the mesh wiring up, and then you can do this and that. And I was sitting there going, I don't want to be like my dad, right? I don't want to keep trying to do this stuff and it end up looking horrible. Can I have another one of those too, buddy?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it to the fights tonight.
Spotted
I think
cow
I'm
is
just gonna
fucking
stay
great.
home.
I'd appreciate that. I'll drink with you if you'll
Right?
stay home.
Yeah, I'm going to stay home. One of my
so-
friends invited me to watch the Mayweather.
Yeah.
There's-
That's what I just had to exit for. I had like 12 text messages. Hey, by the way, we're going to your house to watch the fight tonight. I'm like, when? Oh, we're there. I'm like, okay.
you need to go.
Well, sooner than later, but it's fine. Oh, there it
Fucking
is.
dude, I'm in.
I have little
This
pussy
is the
fingers.
be-
I don't have CrossFit fingers. I have little pussy fingers.
Okay, so
but it still works.
He does it
still
all
works.
the time to me. If I can't do something, he's like, "Okay, Mr. Big CrossFit Fingers."
He couldn't
Let me
like
get-
undo a screw one time. I'm like, come on, with your CrossFit fingers.
CrossFit fingers. That's nice.
Anyway, so I see the stone and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I could probably pull that off, but then I'm like, I don't want to. It goes back to what you were saying earlier about going above and beyond for your product and for your business. I don't want to do something that at some point somebody else is going to have to fucking tear out and do over again because I was trying to save $1 and do it myself. I'd rather just say, okay, hey, I'll give you an extra $100 to make sure it's done the correct way. You know?
Yeah.
And do you find a lot of people that are here gone into like people who've done DIYs and you had to go in and correct stuff? Is that
Like I know you wanted me just to do this, but if you want me to just do this,
Right.
this other shit's got to be fixed first.
And it goes back to what you're saying earlier, like the bathrooms and the walls. I mean, you never know what the hell somebody did before you got there.
Right.
You look at it and you're like, well, I got brick in my fireplace. Can't you just go over top of that and just save me some money? I'm like, listen, it's just as easy, and you get a lot better look if we just you're struggling there. Get it?
Come on, CrossFit.
There you go.
Brad, I'm telling you, that's like the greatest thing ever.
I tell you what, this ring hasn't got this much action since I was at this old folks' home and these ladies were looking at what? I'm sorry,
Dude, that's horrible.
Brad almost spit out his beer.
Yeah, rule
I was
number
trying
one.
to-
Rule
I
number
can't get
one.
past that grandma comment. It's just,
Fuck the whole thing up right there.
Tonight.
You were saying,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Sorry,
I don't know
buddy.
how we got off topic to grandmas again. No, so yeah, you run into it all the time. They try to do something or did this, did that. I mean, we've literally had people come in. We've walked them through the whole process on how to do something. They've bought the product. They're in the middle of laying it, and they'll call and go, "Can you just come out and do this for me now?" And you're like, "Yeah, we can do that. We don't like to do that because now we don't know what you've done before it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
Right.
there's always that, in writing of some sort of we're not liable for what's gone on thus far, but we'll come out and finish.
Yeah,
it,
because they've
you know?
set the foundation. If that foundation's on sand,
man.
or if it's
Yeah.
not tied in correctly,
Yeah, it's like interior walls. Anytime you go into remodel, we had one incident a couple of years ago where this, beautiful $1 million house, they gutted the entire main level of the house. She's like, I want this Tuscan look inside with brick arches and this big, beautiful 2-story fireplace. I'm like, okay, great. That's awesome. But they were kind of generaling themselves with a carpenter and a trim carpenter and a plumber. And, with our remodels, we tell them, like, you have to know what's behind your walls. We're not responsible for if somebody ran an electrical wire not in the middle of the stud and put it up closer because we shoot a fastener in there and hit a wire.
right?
oh, shit.
What
yeah.
do we do? It's
Yeah.
like, and same with water lines, anything else. I'm like, so we have contracts that spell it out and we tell everybody, but this particular instance, we literally did this job, put everything in, installed it, and we get a call 10 days later. Well, we just got back from vacation and there's water standing in our kitchen. I'm sorry. What's that have to do with us? One of those things.
Yeah.
And
Did you put stone in the kitchen?
yeah, so we did the archway going into the kitchen.
Okay.
Well, the guy cut a corner, the plumber did, and ran the water line through this new framing right up against the drywall. So the guy shot a fastener in while they were gone on vacation. It had worked itself loose and flooded the kitchen on it. I'm like, well, first of all, you can't run a water line there. And there's rules about where you can run
There's
stuff.
certain codes.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, that doesn't work. Well, what do we do? I'm like, I'll be 100% honest with you. It's like, this is why people hire general contractors. I was like, this is why, because they carry that insurance. You file the claim with them, they go take care of it, and they go after everybody else's. And that's
Right.
how this whole process works. I said, with you, I was like, you're going to call your homeowner's insurance down. They're going to have a tough time doing anything.
Well, depending on where you, depending on where you live, there are certain. Either you have a home inspection, or sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to live inside the city limits because I don't want that home inspector to come out. I'm going to save some money.
Yep.
And I'm going to build outside of city limits because 1, the taxes are lower, and 2, I don't have to get a permit for everything I'm doing.
Oh, I cringe. We get plans come in, like literally we've had probably a dozen plans last week that came in, and it'll spell out in county, blah, 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 no permits required, no inspection required. I'm like, why?
Jones County.
Why? Yeah. why would you even put that on there? That's like saying, all right, here.
Do whatever the
Do
fuck
whatever
you want.
You know, there's, no
Well,
holds
and
barred, you know. I'm like,
I have a good friend who lives in Anamosa, and he spent his summers in between college roofing, siding, doing sheetrock, knew the ins and outs, and even he was still a little nervous because he lives in Jones County because he could do whatever the fuck he wanted, and there was no really requirements to do anything.
No.
And people talk about Lynn County being really strict, and I'm like, well, there's got to be a reason behind it because people are going to get themselves in fucked up situations where you're like, yeah, I mean, how would you deal with that? Luckily, they're probably wealthy people, but still, you got to go through some kind of claims process to try to get that thing solved.
Yeah.
But I mean, imagine a person who lives in Jones County, and I know of somebody who lives in Jones County, who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
And things go wrong all the time. And you're just like, well, how about you just hire somebody?
Why does
to
it
do
matter that
that?
I'm putting this water line here? Who in their right mind is going to shoot something into the middle of this sheetrock? You know, you have people like that.
Well-
Years later, you sell the house with no intentions of doing that.
Right.
The new owners are like, fuck it, I want
Well,
to
that's why I think why I appreciate your point about you guys go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because at least you know the stonework is going to be, it was done the right way, above and beyond what code is expected, and things are done right. And if everybody built a house like that, you'd have houses that probably would last forever. You know?
And,
Well-
and that's why I tell people, like, part of the thing that I enjoy doing is, like, I'll go speak to the home inspectors. Like, they'll have me come in, give them the whole rundown on how the process works, tell them what to look for, what not, what's good, what's bad, what's a sign of a faulty installation, what should they be looking for when they're going out to these jobs, and how to cite something, what is code, what isn't code, that sort of thing. And then we also work with, we try to do architectural presentations and AIA credits with the architects so they can properly cite how to flash, how to do this, how to do different areas of it. And the problem is anymore, I feel like, I hate everybody always hits on the generational thing and the way things have changed, but nobody wants to take responsibility for anything.
Right.
I mean, it literally is, we have a subcontract agreement. We have a general contractor agreement. So we send out this agreement to all of our general contractors that do repeat business with us. We get another agreement in return from them that basically says ours is null and void and theirs is good and ours says the same thing. So it's like there's nothing. Ours spells out, all right, we're going to warranty this, this, and this. You're responsible for this, this, and this. Make sure you're doing this. And we make them sign off on, doing the flashings, doing this, and the different areas. And as soon as you send that, it's like, red flag, we got to get something that makes us not liable. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Why can't you be proud of the work that you do? Take the
Why
time.
can't you go,
Yeah, it's not just the anti-liability thing. It's like, why can you not take pride in what you're doing?
Right.
Absolutely.
Why are you worried about that?
Like
If you're
why
doing
would you
your
be worried
job,
about it?
Great
Great point.
Hey, great for pointing that out. We're responsible for flashing, caulking, and this sort of thing, and making sure nobody dies on our job site.
Right.
And that's literally all we tell them. And it's getting bad. It's just all insurance companies and lawyers. And
Have you had any liability stuff at all? Well,
No.
good for you.
No.
Is it because you guys have been going above and beyond?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, we just, all of our staff that works out in the field and has that experience to know what to look for. And I mean, we're very vocal with our builders from the standpoint, if we get out there and we see something that's not right, we tell them, we'll pull off. And it really pisses them off a lot of times. But I mean, it goes back to that honesty thing and wanting to do the right thing. We'll tell them.
Or it's accountability. I mean,
And it's like we're at that point right now we have some contractors in that Urbandale and Des Moines market that we've moved into the last couple of years, where we are literally telling them, you either have to do it this way or we are not going to do your work anymore because you're not doing it right.
right.
You're building $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 houses, and you're trying to save $200 on a house to not do something the right way that's going to cause $20,000 worth of damage down the road.
Well, I think a good
You know,
example.
Oh
It's
God,
like,
that makes me fucking
you're
cringe.
It
Like,
does.
come on, just do it right.
At the same time, if you're going to go above and beyond like you are doing, your business is going to do better. I mean, you're going to do better instead of somebody being like, oh, they're pretty good, but they're kind of sketchy on this one part. How about you do everything above bar? And everybody's like, I want to fucking hire that guy to build my house, or I want to hire that guy to do my fireplace because I know above and beyond they're going to take care of their shit. Yeah. I mean, that would make me feel better.
I mean, we lose business because of it. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of business we don't get because we are stubborn and hard-headed about our practices and about our guidelines. But at the end of the day, I look at it from the standpoint, I would rather be able to sleep good at night knowing that I don't have to go home and worry about that stuff.
Right.
It's like I don't have to worry about, I always say the hardest thing to do is to do business with friends. And, I've done business with plenty of friends, and you always want to know you don't have to worry about showing up at, my son's basketball game and getting a parent come over that you're friends with that you did work for going, oh, by the way, I got a little leak.
That's why I'm going to keep a distance from you.
Exactly.
I'm going to keep a distance.
Yeah.
That way when you do work for me, I could be like, yeah, dude, hey, by the way, it looks fucking great.
Yeah.
It looks fucking great.
You don't go to the gym, so you should be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, dick. Okay. Have you ever thought about renaming your business Above and Beyond Iowa Stone Supply?
No.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's just
the rebranding we went through to go from Legacy over to Iowa Stone was quite a transition.
Was it really?
Oh, it was tough. I mean, you have so many people like, so I heard your company went bankrupt. No. I'm like, we tried to transition from being an all turnkey person to a supplier,
Right. Did your degree help you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, not knowing going into it how much it would help me, but literally that's 60+% of my business right now.
Right.
Is managing the financial side of the buying side of it, the, running the reports to know, if we're truly doing good, if we're growing in the right ways.
Right.
Is a big thing, and I think I referenced the podcast with Steve Schreiber was one that I listened to quite a bit and kind of pulled some things out of it that really put things in perspective for me, was to step back and look at it from the outsider's perspective of how really well is your company doing without you there, and to look at it from that standpoint was very eye-opening for me, because I'm like,
if you were to step away, how would it go?
How much am I doing to keep this place going if I'm not here? Is it able to succeed without me?
Right.
And so that's something, since listening to that I've really taken to heart, is trying to get people in the right positions so that if something does happen to me, or if I decide that I want to, venture out into other things, that the company can still succeed without me taking on such a huge role that I have.
Hey,
at one time.
What I take?
Hey, guess what? This podcast had an impact on somebody.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Schreiber has an impact on a lot of people. So
I was just gonna say, it's almost annoying.
Yeah.
It's almost annoying just how often I think of Steve and how
he really
how
has
great
helped
he is and how he influences people's lives.
Well, didn't you say that he met with your business partner?
He did meet with my business partner.
And he spent an hour.
Yeah.
Just going through meet me at Ecolypse and we'll go through a bunch of marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want to make your business a little bit better? Sure, I have all the fucking time in the world. You're a fucking angel, Steve Schreiber. You're an amazing person, okay? Maybe someday I'll be anywhere close to you. Probably not, but maybe. You're fucking wonderful.
Okay, you and the camera. It's got to stop.
Well, I was talking right to Steve.
I want to say two things. First of all,
I know he
we really appreciate your support of our podcast.
Yeah, thank you very
much. Not only
really
listening to it, but
that.
financially.
Yeah.
What really hooked us up. We really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the idea of you going above and beyond. I know for a fact for myself, I probably as I get older, some guy says, "Oh, I know how to build a fireplace. I'll help you out."
Yeah.
And I go, "Wow, okay, so I can just buy the stone and save myself a couple $100, and he's going to do it for me." I know that Brad is going to step in with the right contractor, the right stone, the right way of doing things, and it's going to be done the right way. I mean, I think there's a tremendous amount of, the word just slipped. Integrity. There you go. Integrity. That's part of your business. Mm-hmm. That's part of who you are. I think that has an impact on me. And your wife and I used to get in some great conversations.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because she's a pretty wonderful lady, and I always say this: "What's your husband do?" oh, he has his own stone business. And I was like, oh, I love stone. I'm from Stone City, Iowa, where I grew up there. And do you ever deal with the limestone that they have?
So we get a few projects each year that we do their project.
Yeah.
So it's a good project. I
Yeah,
like those
right
guys.
there, right? Is that limestone right there?
Yep, those big outcroppings right there.
Oh yeah, I got an eye for limestone.
You bet. That's impressive.
Iowa's only known for their fucking
Yeah,
limestone.
I mean it's pretty fucking obvious that it's limestone. I'm sorry.
They thought Stone City was going to be a bigger city than Cedar Rapids at one point because they were using limestone to produce steel at one point. And so they thought during
The foundries.
Yeah. And so I think in the World War I, when they started making tanks and shit, they thought that because they're using so much limestone to make steel,
That's crazy.
Stone City would be bigger than Cedar Rapids. But no.
I think that's like a fact of the day or something.
Wow,
There you go.
Thanks. I'm gonna put that in my pocket.
Hello. I
Yeah,
can
hold
open my
it for
fucking
later.
beer bottle with my finger.
Actually, if I were to
Forget
weigh
the lime-
if
forget
I
the
were to weigh the
limestone.
two things,
Forget the limestone.
right? If I were to weigh the two
Fucking
things, what do I really want to pull away from today? Open a fucking beer bottle with my ring. Bam! Not only can you keep away the hose, but you can open up the beer bottles.
Yeah.
What? It's a ring. I got a ring on my finger,
keep away
bitch.
the hose.
I'm taken. This isn't gonna happen.
I'm glad I can
Move
contribute
away.
today.
That's it's so silly, but it's really
Isn't it
it's
great?
really awesome. Fuck yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I don't need a bottle opener anymore. Hey, listen, really
We're
quick.
really taking a lot of his time.
We have. We've gone
Yes.
over the 2-hour mark again. God, we're really trying
We're
hard
really
to bring it
trying to
down,
stay
but
2 hours.
it's hard. It's hard when you get in here and you start drinking and having a good time. It's like I told Will, my Aussie friend.
Right. Yeah. So we've heard a lot about Will now.
Like I told Will, my super good friend that I just met.
my super great friend. We're friends for life.
I feel like
now.
I'm gonna walk out of there to be a pet fucking kangaroo outside now after hearing all these stories.
Dude, fucking kangaroos are my new nightmare. All right, they were my new nightmare, and you'll see why when you watch it.
I'm sure.
If you watch the podcast, it's really
watch
funny.
the podcast.
This is my new nightmare.
It's my new fucking nightmare. Those goddamn kangaroos. What was I gonna say?
I have no idea.
I have no fucking
I don't want to
idea.
know what you were going to
I
say.
have no idea. What I was gonna say really quickly was, is there anything coming up that you want to share with us that Iowa Stone Supply is gonna do?
Not in particular. I mean, we have right now. Actually, today started the spring parade of homes going on here in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, really?
There you go, Parade of Homes,
Yep.
baby.
I haven't got the Gazette
Going
yet.
this weekend, I believe next weekend as well.
Oh,
and
cool.
A couple days during the week, but
You have a lot of houses with your guys' stuff in it?
yeah. So I believe there's 28 homes in the spring parade. It's grown considerably from when it started because usually we only have one, which is the fall, which is a major one. I think there's 28 in the spring, and I believe we have 22 of those that we did the stonework on.
And
So-
how does that
Wow.
work? How does the Parade of Homes actually like work with businesses? How did that actually work with you guys?
For us, it's a way to basically the spring parade has come about because they realize it's the time of year when everybody's out shopping, looking, getting ideas for either building a home or purchasing a home going into the fall months. So they've really grown that from the fall parade. It's like, oh, great, you can see a house, but nobody builds during the winter. So they lose interest or they forget. So they've got a lot better response out of the spring. And for us, it allows us to show off our products, advertise. The Gazette always does a big publication with it that goes out in print. We advertise on our website, our Facebook page for people to go out and see that. But it's just for us, it's brand recognition. I mean,
So do you incur the cost? So they're like, hey, we want you to build this parade home. Come in and you guys do the whole fireplace. Is that all on you because it's
No.
kind of like advertisement or no?
No. So, I mean, we do some deals for the parade houses just because of the exposure. But I mean, mainly for us, we've gotten out of that. We did that at the very beginning, but we've realized that, with the demand comes the major headaches. I mean, it's never, well, I don't know how you say it. There's never enough preparation time for these houses.
Sure.
Like it's always like extreme home makeover shit.
Oh, really?
Or trying to get them ready for the parades.
Right.
So I mean, we'll be waiting for countertops to go in a kitchen at 6 o'clock on Friday, and have to do a stone backsplash that night, and carpets getting installed at midnight type thing. They're always
wow.
pushed
Yeah,
up against
yeah,
the
yeah.
deadline.
That's awesome.
I can totally see-
bad for you, obviously, but I mean, that's crazy. I didn't know
So it's
that
like,
happened.
and I justified it. I'm like, I have to pay these guys all more. And I was like, it's a lot more time
Right.
commitment on our end.
Sure.
To get these done for you, So, and people realize that, and builders have really gotten better about it, on our end. But I mean, we do a lot of advertising for it with the publications, with signage. signage with, every builder we contribute, and that gives them, basically the way the Gazette stuff works and the way the print and online stuff is, every supplier that buys an area to, advertise gives them more print based on their houses, more exposure type of thing for them. So, it's really good for us. I mean, we always have a really good response out of it. And I mean, there's a lot of great houses going on right now with that. And the nice thing about it this year is it really seems to hit every price point.
Good, because that's been kind of my downfall.
You can get into $160,000 house in the Parade Homes, all the way up to $1.8 million. So I mean, there's every single level you can get into, which is what I like about it. Versus some of the ones we get into is like, okay, well, they're all 800,000 to 1.2 million high end,
and that was just a few years ago. I thought it was the first time I went through the Parade of Homes a few years ago. My wife and I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. I love that. I would love to have that in the house. How much is this house?
Right.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
That's not fucking realistic. What that just did was really piss me off. I really would love to have that, but I can't have that fucking look.
Yeah.
And Cedar Rapids is a blue collar town too. So
yeah.
Yeah. So it's great to hear that
and
they have a good range.
Fireplaces as well as backsplashes, as well as like outdoor kitchen kind of things. Is it everything?
So there's everything and anything.
And stonework on the front of the houses, things like that.
House
Pillars,
fronts,
columns.
Fuck, I'm gonna go tomorrow. We're not buying a house yet, but I think I might do that.
Fuck it, I'm going tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
There's Parade of Homes tomorrow.
Yeah.
He just fucking said that.
Well, he said this week and next week. You're just gonna say I'm gonna go tomorrow? Tomorrow's Sunday.
I got nothing going on.
I got nothing going on.
I believe they're like 10 to 4, 10 to 5 tomorrow, something like
really?
that.
And there's some houses that are outside my price range, but I want to. They've been kind of transformed, and I kind of want to see what they look like.
Yeah. So they have the Spring Parade Homes. There's always the Remodelers Parade, which is another good one. So you can see existing stuff that's been transferred into a new look to give you ideas for people that don't want to move, that don't want to go spend that huge amount of money, but want to upgrade, their current house. And that's always a fun thing for us, is I love before and after pictures.
Yeah, me too.
There's nothing better than just seeing some butt-ass ugly room and fireplace, and then coming in and seeing you're like, what the hell?
Holy shit.
It makes people think like, I don't have to build a whole new house. I don't have to buy a whole new house. What do I have? And God, I didn't realize it could be this.
Right. And so you guys live in Marion?
Yes.
Now, my wife wanted me to ask you this. This is great. What's the floor you put in that house?
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So it is tiger striped bamboo.
That a boy.
Oh, nice. Bamboo. It's renewable resource.
Bamboo might be our new podcast table.
Yeah.
I might make our podcast
We're working
table.
on a new podcast table.
Super hard. I mean, the wood
really?
is, and it's a real wood floor. But yeah, my wife is just as bull-headed and stubborn as
really.
I am, but, yeah.
How odd.
Yeah, weird. So basically, when it came to the house, I said, "Go ahead, pick it out."
Right.
I'm like,
fuck it. I can sleep in here, and
I do this shit every day. I don't spend that much time here anyway. Last thing I want to do is go stress about decisions on what to put in her house.
So
well, that's what my wife said about kitchens.
Yeah.
I do all the cooking, and so she's like, I want these. I'm like, I don't care what color it is. I don't care what you have, as long as it's fucking functional.
Yeah.
I'm solid.
Yeah.
So paint it however you want, make it look however you want, as long as my stove's here and I have a kitchen and I have the refrigerator's in a good spot.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah, and I guess our style for ours is like country modern. This is a new one. I
just have seen. I think I see
like
some
barn
floors.
boards incorporated with bamboo. And
all right,
granite
but the floor is really unique.
But you like it.
I love it. It's great.
It's
hard to envision the old way, after it's changed. Now.
Right.
It's been less than a year since we got it all done. And I'm like,
is it a new? Is it a brand new house you built?
No. So we've been in our same place for almost 8 years now.
So the house you have that you put those floors in, or you just put new floors in?
Yeah. So we basically.
Oh shit! I thought you fucking moved, dude.
No.
Oh, how funny!
No, so we like
that's awesome.
Yeah, we had like a tile fireplace in the corner. We stripped all the tile off. We painted all the walls, redid all the floors, put new countertops in the kitchen, put a stone backsplash. There's stone everywhere now. There's stone fireplace.
Really, that's
stone
odd.
in the bathroom.
How strange.
Weird.
If there wouldn't have been, I would have been like, "Are you sure you're, comfortable with your own product?
Yeah,
you don't even have it in your own home."
Yeah, no stone work
anymore. Stone in the bathroom. Like, I don't care.
Well, I have
literally. I'm like, here's the keys. Go pick it up. I'll stay home with the boys. I'm not. And we're not going to agree. I'm too opinionated. You're too opinionated. So just pick it out and I'll live with it. I'll be fine.
I have a family member, Jeremy Rinkenberger, who is a builder here in town. And he built a home off of East Post Road that had a third basement. That
Third
was
basement.
a gymnasium. It was underneath the garage. And you went down to the basement, normal basement, very nice. And then you turned a corner and went down a third set of stairs. Off to the left was like a gymnasium. Or not, sorry. Off to the left was like a little area for like a treadmill.
Weight room
Kind of stuff. And a window that looked down into the third basement that was below the garage. And there was a basketball hoop, radiant heat in the floor. And so all winter long, the kids were down there fucking racing their razors around, riding bikes inside, shooting hoops. And I'm just like, oh my God, that is like the greatest thing ever. But
cool.
it's fucking expensive.
Oh, that's crazy. We just did one
of
over.
course.
Yeah, we just did one over off of Rosedale Road over on the southeast side of town there.
Okay.
And so the house is, I mean, it's enormous. I don't even, maybe 14 or 15,000 square foot house. I mean, just monstrous.
I don't want to fucking clean that.
And then it's got like, so they have a portico, so it's like a drive through to get to the the garage.
Beautiful.
Oh, cool.
Oops, knocking the mic over here. So the portico goes over to the attached indoor tennis facility, an indoor driving range.
Get the fuck out. That's
Indoor
awesome.
driving
So
range.
they got a driving range simulator. They got a bar that is to all glass windows, so you can view tennis matches as they're going on inside this.
And where is
place.
this at again?
Over off Rosedale Road.
All right,
It's
all right.
just
Wow.
I
a
think
residence.
That's awesome.
I think that we're thinking about our new studio all wrong.
right.
I think what we need to do is talk to people of affluence and go look at their homes and go, you know what? You have a beautiful home. Have you ever thought about sponsoring a podcast?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my brother
Holy
brother
shit.
bought a house in Sunnyvale, California.
Oh yeah.
And so he paid 1.2 for this house. And when he comes out here, he is always like, the last time he was out here with his wife, the one morning, he and his wife and my wife and I, he goes, hey, take us to like the fanciest homes. And so we went on Cottage Grove Road there's just 3 or 4 houses that are backing up against Indian Creek.
Yep.
And they're $600,000 houses. And these things would be fucking $10 million in
that's
Silicon
crazy.
Valley, at least. And then across the street from that is $1 million home. When it went for sale, it was like $900,000. And it's on like 5 acres. It's an enormous house. And then if you go back on East Post Road, some of those areas back, there's a couple of lawyers I think that live. I forget the road that heads off East Post Road, heading north towards 13 or heading east towards 13. There, where this gymnasium in the
Lakeside.
basement. What you say?
Lakeside Road.
Lakeside Road.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's just mind boggling. And so my brother is going, so for the same amount of money, we could have like,
If I were only to
mansion-
move back to Iowa.
well, and in his mind, he's like, what do you guys do? And I'm like, if I really want to do something, I'll go to Chicago. Everything comes fucking through Chicago. Des Moines is even a good spot for seeing lots of people. But of course, he's a 20-minute car ride to San Francisco, and he can do anything and see anything he wants to see. So it's all location. But the prices are now increasing back again in Silicon Valley because he bought his house for $1.2 million, and now it's worth $1.7 already.
Yeah.
Because the costs have gone up.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster out there, though.
It sounds uncomfortable.
No, thank you.
And with the San Andreas Fault? Fuck it.
Have you seen the preview for that movie?
Oh,
The preview for that movie of The Rock.
for sure.
I'm back in Iowa.
Do you watch him
I'm
on?
fine.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's the best.
Oh, he's sick.
One of my pictures of him. I love
You
that picture of him.
CrossFitters.
That picture of him with a stack of pancakes, and it's his free day.
Yeah.
Because he's like fucking strict on his normal days. On one day a week, he said free day is a big fucking stack of
Did you
pancakes.
see the one where he had all the pizzas laid out?
Yes.
He was like 8 large pizzas. That was his cheat day.
That was
He
his cheat
just-
day.
He just sat there and ate 8 of them.
But on his
That's like-
6 days a week.
crazy.
6 days a week though, he probably eats 1,200 calories. I mean, I have no idea.
You have no fucking clue.
I
Why are
have
you
no
talking?
clue. But
Listen,
he's being
stop
very,
talking.
very strict.
Stop talking.
Sorry.
Stop talking.
You stop talking.
Stop talking.
You're
We're gonna let him go. It's fucking.
Yeah.
It's past 3. It's amazing how quick this goes.
Right.
Amazing.
We really try to do 2 hours.
I really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, it's
No.
been great.
I love talking
awesome.
to you. I hope you come back. I'd love to talk to you more about this stuff. and everything else. I mean, the car stuff is really cool. It could be a whole podcast about cars. I fucking love that.
That's amazing.
The idea that you could take that passion and infuse it into your kids. You know, that's something that you can share with your kids. And like, hey, let's get a car. And let's work on it. Let me pass on my knowledge to you.
Or this is
you
my
can't
great
really do that.
This is my great grandpa's truck.
Yeah.
You're riding around in. That's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something that you can't really do with modern cars,
Right.
but you can do with older cars, and that's something that your kids will always fucking remember.
And
always.
that's why I look at it. They're always going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to want to know what the story is.
Sure.
You know, and
That's awesome.
you don't have that anymore.
Yeah. So we could have a whole podcast about that. I'd love to have you back, Brad.
That's why we live in Iowa. Because we have stuff like that. You live anywhere else, it's different.
Everywhere else, fuck, it's not that way.
Okay, don't be a prick.
No, I'm really glad you said that. So thank you, thank you, Brad Potter, for coming in. And if anybody wants to really check things out, like Iowa Stone Supply, if you are building a new house, or if you have some ideas that you would like to redo your backyard or the front of your house, and we never asked you. I mean, people that have houses that have stonework, you've probably replaced that stonework, right?
Yeah.
Put a new fresh look on houses. If you want a fresh look, go to Iowa Stone Supply. Go to iowastonesupply.com. Check out Brad Potter, and you can go and connect with them and their phone numbers, all that. It's right there. If you go to YouTube, it's right there on the page. It's right there on the screen. Check it out. It's awesome. And their gallery, if you want some fresh ideas and maybe your backyard is a little and you want something really cool,
Sick like outdoor kitchen or something.
Sick outdoor Iowa fucking kitchen. Because you know what? For those of us like myself who didn't think, hey, fuck it, we live in Iowa, we can't have an outdoor kitchen. You can.
Yep, for sure.
And Brad Potter can give that to you.
Willing to shovel.
Go to Iowa Stone Supply. And if you want something really neat to look at, go to Iowa Parade of Homes this spring. And it'll be in the next, by the time this comes out,
2 weeks from now.
God damn it. We'll just miss the Parade of Homes.
We will.
That's right. Catch them in the fall.
That's right.
There
you go. There you go. And you'll see some Iowa Stone Supplies. You'll get inspired. Yep. And then he'll do his whole Jedi mind trick, and you'll want to fucking spend money. But if you go to Iowa Stone Supply on Facebook, you'll get inspired that way too, and you'll see all the neat little things that they've done there. Todd, did you want to talk about any of our sponsors or any of that other stuff, or do you want me to do it and you want to talk about the other stuff? How do you want to break it down tonight?
Well, the normal way things fucking work is that you talk about the sponsors, and then I hit things for social media.
We'll let you on the easy side of things. First of all, go to Produce Run, because my bromance with Will from Australia, he produced producerun.com. Go there and figure out how you can interact with how you can interact
don't go
with your local
Stay home.
farmers. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go to
I'm
Produce.
not slurring my words.
Oh, I swear to God. I've had too much to drink. That's why I'm not going to go to the Pacquiao Mayweather fight tonight. All right, Brad, real quick.
Yep.
Who do you want to win? Who do you see winning the Pacquiao Mayweather fight? This is a decade-long fight in the making.
It's a big fight. I mean, I got to go with, background and backstories. I got to go with Pacquiao.
Really?
I mean, I just think I can't respect somebody that's got the history that Mayweather's got. I mean, I think Mayweather's going to win, but I want to see.
But
Pacquiao.
you really hope that Pacquiao knocks his ass
And
out.
everybody's like that. The lady who cut my hair today.
You got hair?
So don't give me shit. Okay.
I embrace the baldness.
Right.
I
I'm
embrace
trying
it.
to grow my hair. She said
comb it
that.
over.
She said that. She goes, you know what? Mayweather is a better fighter, but God, I want him to fucking lose. His mouth is the worst. He's so fucking cocky. And I said, listen, the reason why he's cocky is he fucking wins. If he wasn't a winner, he wouldn't be cocky.
And he gets paid basically to be the villain. So he said, fine, you want me to be the villain? I'll be the villain. And I'm going to market myself like a motherfucker.
For this alone. Holy shit.
His kids are set.
Dude,
he's
they've been
really
set for a
smart guy.
long time besides this fight too. So
anyway, it has nothing to do with fighting, but go to producerun.com and connect with your local farmers. Will Pattinson, I figured out his last name. He's the creator of that and very inspiring. If you want to have a great time with your friends and family, go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. Order a pack of Cards Against Humanity. Get all the expansion packs because, you run through one pack and then you're like, fuck it, I'm going through the same responses. I'm hearing the same things. No. Get all the expansion packs. Go above and beyond. Get the UK edition, the Canadian edition, and the Australian edition. Give responses to shit that you have no real idea what you're saying.
Yes, that's the best part.
It's true.
And get the bigger blocker box because that you have to have some place to put all your cards. Right?
We still have spaces in ours.
It's 21 inches and 17 ounces of pain.
Okay, are you done?
You should have that. Cards Against Humanity. Go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. Also, sauce hockey.
17 21 inches of pain. Also, sauce hockey.
Hey, you know what? I'm like one of those really dynamic teachers that keep
Right,
people
that's the same.
interested. You got to move around. You got to say
I
things.
feel like you need to like the walking mic so you can go back and forth.
Yeah, I
can
just need to
pace.
pace.
Yeah, just
While we
pace.
do the
The camera.
podcast, I just need to walk back and
My
forth.
hope is that you fucking finish this shit up so we can move on.
Listen, I love Brad. Brad was great.
He was awesome.
I
but
got to
Brad
keep my
has to
distance
leave.
because I want
But Brad
to have
has
him
to
do
leave,
some business
so we
for
need
me.
to wrap this shit.
All right, I'm sorry. Go to saucehockey.com and buy some really cool hockey lingo shit on your apparel. Hats, shirts, sweatshirts, jumpers. That's for
Their
you.
polos are
That's for
actually
you,
really
Will.
awesome.
That's for you. Jumpers.
Jumpers.
Anyway, go to
That's like all hoodies
saucehockey.com.
in Australia is
Got
jumpers.
it.
There you
Okay.
go.
I knew I was missing something.
And
I didn't
If-
buy a hoodie from CrossFit 2.2 because it had a fucking zipper. If it had been just a regular hoodie, I've been all over it.
We get hooked up at Iowa Stone Spiker. You guys stop by. We got Sean.
Oh.
We got Under Armour, everything over there. You guys stop over.
You have hoodies?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking hoodie.
We're there.
fanatic.
We got
We're gonna
hoodies,
come
we
up-
got
Yeah.
fleeces, we got polos.
we're all
okay.
about we are all about advertising for
For sure.
people
We
that
bought
we care
these today.
about.
We'll come
we
buy
went there
some from
today.
you. Hell yeah.
Sweet Raw Joy. I know some people aren't into chocolates,
Our guest.
but other people are. And if you want to eat some chocolatey, yummy goodness, some beautiful little angel chocolate, I don't know.
Fuck, you're killing
I'm
me.
killing it. I am actually.
No,
I'm
you're
just-
killing me.
I'm killing.
Fucking.
Well, I'll
get
keep
this
doing
shit
it.
Done.
I'll keep doing it then. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. Lori Moritz, you're a genius. And I love what you've done with
beautiful
these
person.
desserts. And if you want to stay healthy and you want to keep the calorie count down and you want to eat something that's living, that's
satiates
live,
you.
Natural.
Natural. Satiates, natural. Thank you. Brad, you're natural. Maybe we should give up this whole concrete stone thing.
Stone's
Go on.
natural. Hello.
All right.
Are you done?
Quiet. Go to sweetrawjoy.com and order your stuff today. Now, Todd.
Jesus Christ. If you want to follow the Primal Scream, go to tpsbproductions.com. And on there, if you go to shows, you can click on the Primal Scream from the shows because there's lots of podcasts on this crazy website. When you're on primalscream.com,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
it.
follow us on Facebook.
No, not primalscream.com. TPSPproductions.com.
If you go to Primal Scream on TPSP Productions,
Yes.
you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Please download and follow us on iTunes or Stitcher. Subscribe and like us when you're on there. You can follow us on YouTube. I have a blog that I don't blog on, so please follow that anytime
Isn't that
you
a
want
great
to.
picture? You like that picture?
And as well, there's a donation button on there. The last donation was Lori Moritz from Sweet Raw Joy. Give us a little dough.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah, for sure. But anything that we have donation wise goes to different charities unless we have overhead costs that we had to take care of.
Yeah,
we try to
initially we take care of overhead costs, and then
And,
anything extra, anything at all extra,
we give away.
give it away to local charities.
This is too much fun to be
You don't need a lot of money. I mean, we have full-time jobs, right?
No, give more so we don't have to worry about our jobs. But at the same time,
That's true. We want to get an RV.
we want an
Need
RV
an Airstream with some mics.
Oh, god damn Airstream.
Airstream with some mics.
Awesome. So this is what it looks like on YouTube. Wouldn't you all agree? That's a lot of fucking videos, and that's I could load some more. That's only like 60 of them, but right now we're up to like 84. This is number 85.
Nice.
We're going to be celebrating our 100 episode of the Primal Scream podcast.
2-year
And we're gonna be-
anniversary
2-year anniversary, and we're going to be doing that at the Quarter Barrel.
right here.
So all of our
I'm excited
guests,
for that to open.
all of our guests
Oh,
are invited.
Chris
to
was
come down.
on months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instantaneously, I was hooked. My wife's like, "Great, I'll never see you." Like, fuck yeah! I think was it Galaga?
Galaga, yeah.
Fuck! Oh my god, I'm all over that. But Chris is nice enough to invite us down, and then Quinn said he might name a Primal Scream brew after us for some beer.
That'd be
So it'll be a
great.
big celebration, and you'll absolutely be invited.
Sure.
So
And who knows? Maybe I'll come back to CrossFit 2.2
probably not.
and then watch you
Right.
You'll be
kill it, and I'll be like, "Fuck."
You'll be competing
I gotta
June
com-
20th, so you'll be back at CrossFit 2.2.
That's true. I probably will be.
Yeah.
And also Twitter, if you want to follow us on Twitter. Now, I really feel
I took her off, by the way.
the need to say I'm sorry for
Good.
those of you who went to our Twitter account and looked at what was getting posted, and there was some porn that was getting posted on our Twitter account.
And I don't.
I
we
didn't
don't
even
personally
realize you
have
could
an
do that on
issue-
Twitter.
We don't personally have an issue with porn, but we don't want it on our
Yeah,
Twitter
no, I
feed,
personally
so-
love porn
But
too much. Actually, I don't really want to get
well,
into
I'm
that
trying.
right now.
We're trying to downplay this, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I just don't want it on my Twitter account.
Thank you.
Trying to get away from the grandmas.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done,
Well, thank you everybody, and for listening and enjoying this podcast tonight.
Brad. Thanks again. We really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you very
Thank
much.
you guys
This is
for having me.
awesome.
I'm Matt,
I am Tom.
and we'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.